And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over the mainstream media, all over television, all over everywhere, and we will get into it. The Waukesha, Wisconsin attack. What is that all about? Why was this guy out there doing what he did? Are the media really covering this the way that they should? We'll talk about that in a minute. Also, Kyle Rittenhouse did an interview on Fox News speaking to Tucker Carlson, and he dropped quite a few bombs in a very short period of time. We'll get to that in a little while. Also, the Ahmaud Arbery verdict is in, and all three defendants have been found guilty of murder. I think the shooter is the only one who got convicted of the more serious murder charge. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Also, did you guys see that crazy looting incident that happened at the California Nordstroms? I mean, what they call that? A flash rob? 80 people maneuvering their cars to loot the store. We'll talk about that. Also, there's quite a few things happening all over the place with politics, with social issues. Things that people don't want to talk about in the mainstream media, we're going to get into. A lot of you guys had differing opinions about the Ahmaud Arbery case. We could talk about law. We could talk about fact. We could talk about feelings, whatever you want. But we'll get to all those things on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank you guys. Again, you guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. If you enjoyed what you're hearing thus far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Happy early Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys eat a whole lot of food, but don't eat too much. Don't become like Willy Wonka, super humongous, a whole circle. Enjoy your holiday. Be safe on the road. If you have not traveled yet, or if you are going to travel back, be safe on the road. But enjoy the day. So we got a Thanksgiving Eve show. You know, shout out to all you guys who are here. I'm definitely going to be eating tomorrow, but hopefully I don't eat myself into a coma. I'm gonna try to be alive after I get done eating. But thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. We'll get to the calls and all that in about an hour, so you got a little bit of time for that. And the information for you guys that want to call in, that'll be in the description box below. But let's get to the sponsors, then we get straight into the topics of the show. Shout out to me, of course, AnthonyBLogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. For every single video, I write an article. It might be a short one, might be a long one, but in each article, I cite my sources. So nobody can say that I make things up. We'll talk about that in the Ahmaud Arbery case. Everything I say is backed by fact, 100%. My opinion is my opinion, but facts are facts, regardless of who thinks what about it. Again, AnthonyBLogan.com. And if you want to find me on my social media platforms, if you want to find my email address, my snail address, all that's on the website as well, on the contact page. And of course, if you guys want some merch, go to ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. Links for that will be in the description box below or somewhere near this particular video or podcast. And as you guys know, this will be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Apple, iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the box, or just go to those platforms and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And of course, shout out to BHEDesigns.com. They make the beautiful handmade wooden flags that are right behind me. I get emails all the time saying, hey, where can I get the flags? Shout out to you guys who have sent me letters in the mail, like actual physical handwritten letters. Where do I get the flags? Again, BHEDesigns.com. The link for them will always be in the description box below of every single video, so it's easy to find. And of course, shout out to patriotpost.us, the best source of news and information anywhere on the internet. Been around for a very long time out here, Chattanooga, Tennessee, 25 years. Check them out right now, patriotpost.us. All right, let's get into the show. We got a whole lot going on we're going to get into, so y'all just hang tight. Where are we going to go first? I think we're going to go with the Nordstrom looting. let's do the Nordstrom looting first, because I think that it kind of encapsulates what's happening in California, but in a lot of places where there's not much prosecution of crime. I think the theme for tonight is going to be, let's be law and order for real. You know, that was Trump's main thing, right? Law and order. Let's bring back law and order. And you have law and order when you have people that actually get convicted of crimes, charged with crimes appropriately. That's law and order. When you don't have law and order, things like prosecution is not really seen as a priority. People don't follow law. They do whatever they want to do. They do unlawful things, and it's given excuses by the state or by those who are supposed to be on the jury or whatever the case may be. Law and order should be the theme of the night. But anyway, so in California, I think in the San Francisco Bay Area, there's a Nordstrom's that was looted by 80 people in what they call that a flash rob. If I could find a video right quick, I'll put it on the screen. But the whole idea was you had all these cars that pulled up, and the cars pulled up right in front of the Nordstroms outside, and they maneuvered themselves to where nobody else could get through. So they blocked the street. They entered the Nordstroms, and within 1 minute, just a few seconds, the entire Nordstroms was looted, ransacked, top to bottom. It was very well organized. They had similar cars and they had similar like dark clothing on. It was very well organized. So what you have going on in places like San Francisco, even LA, from San Fran to LA, all over the left coast, maybe even Washington and Oregon, Portland, Seattle. What you have is organized crime that is essentially sanctioned by the state. Because in places like San Francisco, there's no prosecution of a lot of retail theft. They say if you steal anything below $1,000 in value, there will be no prosecution. So the spirit of it is, you don't want to have a war on poverty. It's like the whole AOC thing, right? Oh, they're just trying to steal bread to eat food and not really trying to hurt anybody. These big corporations can afford it, all this and that and the third. That's the mind state that they say they have. But all they do is just enable organized crime. Because if you have people like gang members, mafia, whatever, and they say you could just do that and it won't be a crime, all right, bet. I was going to steal anyway, but maybe I wouldn't steal as much. But now that I can just steal openly and brazenly, I'll do that. I'm not going to get locked up for it. So what? I'm going to just do that all the time until they tell me to stop, until I can't anymore. And I'm going to just take that stuff, sell it on the street, and make money. Organized crimes are involved with this. Now, let me see if I can, I'm going to try to put this on the screen right quick so you guys can see exactly what's going on and not trying to get put behind a paywall. Hold on one second here. And matter of fact, I think it was, so here we go. Here's a video. Maybe this will be a good one. Here's a news clip or a news person that has a clip. Okay. And the person, Jody Hernandez, says, breaking, about 25 cars just blocked the street and rushed into Walnut Creek Nordstrom, making off with goods before getting in cars and speeding away. At least 2 people were arrested at gunpoint. So they found 1 car out of the 25 cars. Hold on, let's get a little bit of sound if we can. Or nah, hold on one second. Let me just make sure that my sound is where it's supposed to be. And so there we go. You see? Look at this. Organized. See, this is a serious problem. And defund the police. Look at that. Look at how the street is just blocked off with all those cars. 25 cars, at least 25 cars blocking the road, enabling the Nordstrom to be looted. So it's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You should just, arrest people. That'd probably be a good start. Maybe don't say that you can steal a bunch of stuff and not be prosecuted, not go to the penitentiary, not beat rocks in the little ones. Maybe that'd be a good start. But unfortunately, that's not what's happening. People pretty much do whatever they want in places like California. Okay, so here's another video. This is from RT Arabic. Not really sure why RT Arabic has a video specifically, but that's a different story. So here it is. Here's another angle, I suppose. So you see the guy running out of the store, no sound. Look at that. Handful of stuff, whatever he can carry in his hands. I'm surprised he didn't have an actual bag. I think okay, so here go to the police. Look at these guys. They got one car. All right. I'm glad they got one car, but the guy right here just went right past them with a whole handful of stuff. Okay. A whole handful of stuff. And then the police, they go over there and then they beat on this one car. They run it straight to the. It's like, y'all already missed 25 cars. You see what I'm saying? And everybody has a video phone. Everybody has a camera. There's cameras everywhere. Surely you can find them and arrest them. So this whole thing is just a mess. And it's not even the fault of the police. It's not even their fault. They're doing whatever they can do. All that the police can do is, I don't know, make an example out of one, maybe try to arrest one. Because ultimately they know if the person has, let's say $800 worth of stuff in their car, they're not going to go get prosecuted. So it kind of becomes pointless. The police might not even show up. If not for the fact that it was a flash mob with 80 people and 25 or more cars, they wouldn't have showed up. Let's just say Mr. Child's corner store in San Francisco in Tenderloin or something like that. Let's say some dope fiend goes in there and steals, I don't know, $100 of stuff. There's no way the police will ever come out. First of all, it's petty in their eyes. Second of all, it's not going to get prosecuted. Third of all, there's probably bigger fish to fry in Tenderloin. That's where all the dope fiends, the doodle on the ground hang out. You understand? It's probably some person out there juggling syringes with all types of diseases in it. I won't get into those right now, but you already know what it is. Juggling disease-ridden syringes covered in filth right outside the store. So it's like, what's the bigger priority? Especially when the person they're trying to arrest for the theft is not going to get prosecuted. This is a serious problem. And these people, these so-called progressives, act like it's not really an issue, retail theft, or, oh, we got bigger fish. All right. Well, then when all these stores close down, what are you going to do? You may be able to have people that, you may be able to keep people that have money because they work there as far as the tech industry, but who's going to work the service jobs? Who's going to work at a convenience store? Who's going to work as a Starbucks barista? Why work at Starbucks in San Francisco when they can go in there and shoot their drugs up in the bathroom and leave all types of crazy stuff on the ground, needles and everything else? Why do that? Why? And then on top of that, they got all this government money floating around, all this monopoly money. What's the point of doing these low-paid jobs or having the business in San Francisco? High cost of living, dangerous. The police can't really do much. You got this ridiculously woke city council, far left city council, ridiculous mayor. The mayor looked dead in the man's eyes, as he was getting ready to shoot some drugs up in broad daylight with cameras and police right there in the street. When that's going on, what are you going to do? Either you are some kind of tech bro making well over six figures, 500, 600,000 or whatever it is. If that's you in San Fran, you're doing great. But if you're a regular normie, how are you even living in San Francisco? How are you living? The average house costs $1 million. And then the jobs that are there are being run away by all this ridiculous stuff from the city council. So it is what it is. But the whole point behind that is to say that San Francisco, you got to tighten up with your laws. Los Angeles too, the entire left coast, the entire California. These laws don't make any sense. Did you guys see that Nancy Pelosi bought a house in Florida? I'm going to show you guys this house. You know, California is so bad that the people that made it that way, the main ones that are from there, Nancy Pelosi, at 1,000 years old, however old she is. Nancy Pelosi is old as Rita from the Power Rangers. Nancy Pelosi is a walking mummy, a fossil, walking and talking, right? That's Nancy Pelosi for you. She bought a house in Florida. I'm going to try to find this house. Allegedly. I can't say that for 100% certain because she didn't come on TV and say it. All right, hold on. I think it was at some Florida island. Matter of fact, here it is. Washington Examiner. This is a rumor. Now, it says, rumors fly. Pelosi scooping up $25 million Florida mansion, but spokesman says don't buy it. All right. So there's sources saying that this is happening, but the spokesperson is saying don't do it, don't buy it. It's not really real, blah, blah, blah. Who knows? But do you believe it that she could buy a mansion worth that much in Florida? It's possible. It's definitely possible. And, you know, it would kind of like not make any sense. Since you live in California already, you could for sure buy some property out there, but maybe she sees that California is pretty much dead. That ain't the move anymore. I'm going to go to Florida. But this could be a rumor. It might not be true. But we've seen crazier things. We've seen the Obamas talk about, you know, climate change and carbon footprint. And, you know, we want to live in the multicultural. But then you go live in the property in Martha's Vineyard. We saw that the Obamas said, oh, we're going to have a scaled down birthday party. It'd just be a few family and friends. But then it was this whole big event with R&B superstars. It was looking like Entertainment Tonight out there on the Obama's Martha's Vineyard waterfront property. That's what it was looking like. So they say certain things and they do something else. Either way it goes, these politicians are nuts. Nancy Pelosi is a king of the nuts. King nut. That's Nancy Pelosi for you all day long. All right. Jack Jackson says she made $200 million on $140,000 a year. It's what I'm saying. Exactly. How do you make that much off of that salary? How are these politicians so wealthy? Okay, if you're a politician, right, hold on. Now, here's something from this article. It says she already owns 9 properties worth about $20 million combined. How do you have a real estate portfolio like that off of your salary by being a congresswoman? How does that work? Yeah, I mean, I don't really understand how that makes any sense. But then again, I do. It's the grift of DC. It's a DC grift. Hey, you know what? I'm in this area. I have political power. I have pull. I'm going to get money. That's how that works, right? That's how that works. And the rumor is that the property is on Jupiter Island in Florida. So if you guys are from there, you may know about that. The property was listed and then it was off. So they're saying it could be Nancy Pelosi, but I'm not really sure where that came from. But we've heard about a lot of rumors that have wound up being true or close to true. Because remember, what was the rumor I was talking about before about Kamala Harris? And they were saying, hey, well, how do we replace a vice president? And then the next day it came out that Joe Biden was having a colonoscopy, probably because of the doo-doo rumors. And then Kamala Harris took the reins for a brief period of time. So some of these rumors do have some truth to them, but I will digress. Thank y'all again for being here. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you enjoy what you are hearing thus far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. And what else we got going on? I'm going to get to the Ahmaud Arbery case. Y'all just hang tight. I think I'm going to talk about the Waukesha attack, and then I'm going to get into Rittenhouse, and then I'm going to get into the Ahmaud Arbery thing. So Waukesha, Wisconsin. This is right in the Kenosha, Racine, Milwaukee area of the state. Now, there was a Christmas parade with a lot of people out there just having a good old time, family-friendly fun. You have people that were elderly, young people, little kids, little babies, and everything in between, just having a good old time in small-town USA, right? Now, you have this guy, Math Boy Fly. That's his rap name. I forget his actual name. It don't even really matter. Black guy dreadlocks, right? From Milwaukee. This guy decides to go through the barrier that was blocking the street off. And it wasn't like it wasn't like New York City where you got to have these concrete, like Jersey walls and stuff like that with tanks to block off the street when they have the New Year's Eve parade and stuff like that. It was like this little, these little wooden, like TP style things to block the street. Basically to say, hey, don't go this way, you're going the wrong way. He drove past that, and he drove at a slow rate of speed first, because that's one thing we got to talk about. In the Waukesha Attack, as he approached the barriers, he was going slow. And the police, he was going slow. The police were able to bang on his hood and say, hey, don't go this way. But then he sped up. So this whole thing about, he was trying to escape a prior thing where he was being chased by police, that does not make any sense, because if he was going slow in front of the police, how was he being pursued by them? Obviously, the police would know if there's a pursuit because they go on the radio and communicate. Hey, we got somebody, hot pursuit going down X, Y, and Z street. Here's a make and model of the car. It's a red Ford, whatever that SUV is. Look out for it. So if they see that same car, they see the driver of the car clearly, it's not nighttime yet, and he's approaching them slowly, they might go ahead and pull their pistols and say, hey, stop, freeze, whatever. But they didn't do that. Say, hey, tapped on the hood, don't go any further. But he did not stop. He kept going further through the little barrier, and then he proceeded to drive through the parade, hitting people intentionally. I think there are now 6 deceased, because I think there was 5 at first, but then a little boy died, and rest in peace. The little boy, I think he had brain surgery or something like that, but he didn't make it. So very unfortunate. So I think there's at least 6 deceased and around 80 or more injured. Or was it 40? I can't really remember. Y'all pardon me. But basically, a lot of people injured and about 6 that are now deceased from this attack. I'm seeing all types of things from the media trying to downplay this. They said on NBC that it was an accident. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and pull that particular screenshot up. This is from an NBC YouTube video. The video has probably been changed by now. That's all. We keep receipts over here. You always keep receipts just to make sure that we're on the same page. So here is the actual screenshot, and you see what it says. Video appears to show Waukesha Parade suspects arrest outside home because he went to somebody's house and the guy made him a sandwich and welcomed him in his house. White guy, of course, big bad racist white guy. The guy didn't know, by the way, what was going on. He was asleep. He hadn't heard the commotion. He didn't know this guy was on the run for running into some people at a parade and killing them and injuring a bunch of others. So he let him in his house and made him a sandwich and let him use the phone. And then the police eventually pulled up and got him right there. But anyway, the little caption of the video says, video captured by a Ring camera appears to show Daryl Edward Brooks in front of a home before being arrested in connection to the Waukesha Parade accident. Accident? How was it an accident? If you intentionally hit people, if you're being charged with intentional homicide, intentional murder, then how was it an accident? Where is an accident? How do you have intent in the same breath as accident? You understand? I accidentally stubbed my toe. I didn't do it intentionally. I ain't kicked the wall and stubbed my toe. I did it by accident. So this is what the media does all the time. They say things that aren't true. They gaslight you. They make you think things are one way when they're another way. There was no accident if you did this on purpose. You rammed your SUV into a Christmas parade, okay? This is going to be downplayed by the media because it doesn't fit the narrative. Their narrative is dangerous white guy. He wants retaliation for whatever it is. That's the whole thing they want to say. But they don't want to say this black guy may have been upset by the whole Kyle Rittenhouse verdict. The Rittenhouse verdict shouldn't have been political. It shouldn't have been a thing where people got to say, oh, you need time off. You need some counseling. I've seen that quite a bit. Some people, some companies talking about, we're offering you counseling in case you feel feelings of sadness and bereavement over the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict. It's like, what? Why would anybody feel sad about that? I mean, just to be all the way real, the people that Kyle Rittenhouse had to defend himself against, you ain't talking about Boy Scouts And if they are Boy Scouts, they're evil Boy Scouts. You're talking about the bad Boy Scouts, the bad Boy Scout leaders that do something else with the. You know where I'm going with that. But these guys were not good people in life before they met Kyle Rittenhouse. Okay, especially that the little guy, Rosenbaum, especially not him. So why would anybody feel sadness about that? It doesn't make any sense. The only reason why anybody would feel sad is if they've been watching the news and they believe whatever the news says. If they watch Joy Reid and they got to see her face talk about whatever, yeah, you would get sad about that. If I watch MS-13 DNC and I believed it, I'd be sad too. But as far as the incident is concerned, there's no reason to be sad. But as far as Daryl Edward Brooks, yeah, that's a real reason to be sad. You're killing innocent people, elderly people. I think somebody that he killed was in their 80s because you had the dancing grannies out there. They're part of the Christmas parade. He ran through a bunch of elderly women. And as far as I know, everybody involved that he killed was white, or at least majority white. I've seen some pictures. I didn't see anybody that was anything else other than white, and he's black. So let's get this straight. If a white guy kills white guys in self-defense, that's racist because the backdrop was Black Lives Matter. Okay. If a black guy kills a crowd full of white people, attacks a crowd full of white people, then that's not racist because I'm not really sure. And the guy had a bunch of kind of black identity extremist stuff on his social media, and that kind of, he had BLM on the social media. So you already know what it is. He had that kind of, thing going on with himself as well. I want to hear from him and hear why he did what he did. Because sometimes these guys are snitching themselves. They'll tell what's going on. And I can almost guarantee there's some racism there that he'll say. Because what's the other reason? What's the purpose of doing that? Why would you ram your car through a Christmas parade? You were not being chased. You were not being pursued. You wanted to do that on your own. And this guy has a history of vehicular attacks. His child's mother he striked his child's mother and then ran over her with his car. I think she had a broken leg or something like that, tire marks and stuff on her. So this guy has a history of doing that. This is no amateur to the life of crime. 39 years old, lengthy rap sheet going all the way back to the early 90s. And I think his first offense in the early 90s was against a family member. Probably his mom or sister or something like that, because they had a female name and the same last name. So this guy's just a dirtbag overall. But at the end of it, we'll see how the media covers it. Will this be in the news for any longer? Is it over already? I think it's over already. Unless somebody else passes away as a critical condition, you won't hear about it anymore. But you heard about Kyle Rittenhouse over and over and over and over and over again. You heard about all this negative stuff that he allegedly did, although there was no evidence of that because it's all about the narrative. If there's a narrative to try and prove that the media wants to prove, they'll do whatever they can to make that happen, although they may say things that are not true. That's how the media operate, right? Carlos Minaya says, you speak negative against black people, why? Or always do? Well, I speak negative against anybody that's doing something wrong. Maybe you like people that run over elderly white folks. Maybe that's good for you. I don't care what color you are, black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe. If you're doing bad, you're doing bad. Joseph Rosenbaum, was he a hero to you, Carlos? Joseph Rosenbaum, the white guy that attacked Kyle Rittenhouse? How about Anthony Huber? How about Gates Grosskreutz? How about those guys? Are they your heroes? If they your heroes and they honorary black guys, then that's fine. Matter of fact, you can have them. If you part of that community that wants to take those guys on as your heroes, then go for it. I personally don't like hanging out with guys that assault kids. Okay, if you want to have him at your house for Christmas, then go for it. But I'm cool. I'm cool on that. I don't like hanging around no criminals, no guys that want to touch kids, no guys that want to attack kids or nothing like that. Period. I don't care what color they are. It's not even the whole race thing is so overblown. It's so corny. It's so stupid. But the media, they play on that for for dumb people, essentially, or those who are still sleeping and don't understand what it's all about. It's all about everybody being an American citizen and doing what's right for their country, doing what's right for their community. That's it. That's all. You got to be a good person, do good things, and that's it. Don't attack people, don't hurt people, and you good. Be in society and be productive. Don't be antisocial. Don't be trying to hurt people in this country. That's it. All right, and moving right along. So what else we got going on? But yeah, hopefully that guy gets a chair. What's his name? Daryl Brooks Jr. You got to go, man. You got to go. Innocent people. Like, I want to know, why did he do that? Why would you run your car into a parade? For what purpose are you doing that? I don't know exactly why he did it, but I'm willing to bet some money that the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing has something to do with it. Maybe he wanted to enact revenge on white people, so he went ahead and did that. I don't really see another reason, but I could be wrong. I'm just giving my opinion on the whole situation from how I see it right now. But we got a few more things going on here, and we will get into it. Let's talk about, the Kyle Rittenhouse interview. Now, shout out to Kyle Rittenhouse and also Tucker Carlson. Really, really good interview. They touched on quite a few things that needed to be said. One of the main things that he touched on that kind of sparked my interest is about Lynn Wood. I've been talking about Lynn Wood in a negative way because I think Lynn Wood just trying to get money, quite frankly. I think there's a couple things going on with Lynn Wood. I think Lynn Wood's trying to get money. And I think Lynn Wood, how can I say, maybe Lynn Wood believes in a lot of what he says, but ultimately there's a money-making aspect of it as well. Now, I'm not saying that it's wrong to get money in society. We're Americans. It's all about, trying to survive and build something for yourself and for your kids and whatnot. I get it. But I think money is the main motivator behind what he does. Nick Salmon had an issue with Lynn Wood. Remember Nick Salmon, the Covington Catholic high school kid who was attacked by the media? He has a punchable face. Remember that kid? He had a problem with Lynn Wood. Kyle Rittenhouse, same thing. Now, here's what Kyle Rittenhouse said. Rittenhouse said that the whole incident went down like August 24th or 25th. He wound up being in jail for 87 days. He was released like at the end of November 2020. Lynn Wood had the money for his bail on September the 5th. Matter of fact, the bail was $2 million. So you guys let me know if what I'm saying here is right or wrong. If your bail is $2 million, all you got to do is post 10% of the bail. That's $200,000. Lynn Wood and them had $1 million on September the 5th. So you have more than enough to post the bail right at that moment. But he didn't. Rittenhouse stayed in jail for 87 more days. And I'm hearing, I didn't hear it from Rittenhouse, but I'm hearing from the internets that you had to have Mike Lindell and Ricky Schroeder come in to actually post the $200,000. I don't know about that part, but what I do know is what Kyle Rittenhouse said about Lynn Wood having $1 million on September the 5th at the latest, the bail being $200,000, but the bail didn't get posted until November the 20th, right around then. Lynn Wood, allegedly, according to Kyle Rittenhouse, told Kyle that he'd be safer in jail. Huh? Safer in jail? How does that make any sense? Is he in jail right now? No, he's not. He's going to Mar-a-Lago. Matter of fact, hold on. Here's a picture for you guys of Kyle Rittenhouse and Trump. He's going to Mar-a-Lago. You're taking pictures with Trump. You going on doing interviews with Tucker Carlson, Fox News. You chilling. You doing your thing. Is he safer in jail? He's in the same situation. People still probably don't like him, the same as they did before. So why would he be safer in jail? How does it make any sense? I don't understand. He's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. So why was he in jail that long when the money was there to post the bail? Is it because Lynn Wood wanted that money for himself? Why did Rittenhouse have bad things to say about him? And why did your man, what's his name, Salmon from Covington Catholic, why is he the same way, having bad things to say about Lynn Wood? Why is that? Is it because Lynn Wood, I mean, like, what's the reason they would have to say something bad against him? I think Lynn Wood, snake oil salesman all the way. I think this guy's just bad news. At a certain point, when you keep hearing the same thing over and over again about somebody from credible people, it might be true. It might be. Kyle Rittenhouse said that Lynn Wood was trying to use him to be part of the face of a movement that he didn't want to be part of. You understand, this is a 17-year-old kid at the time. All he did was defend himself. He's not necessarily trying to be political or nothing like that. He even said he supports the Black Lives Matter movement. Now, I'm not going to hate on him too bad for that. Speaking about Kyle Rittenhouse, I'm not going to hate on him too bad for that. He's 17 years old. A lot of these kids his age, or he's 18 now, but a lot of these kids is his age, they don't know what gender they are. At my age, I could be Kyle Rittenhouse's dad. So I don't hate on him too bad for that. I respect him for defending himself, standing up for our rights as American citizens. And even if he was a BLM member, I would respect his right to be a member. I wouldn't agree with it, but I respect his right to be a peaceful person. He also said that he does not support rioting and protests that become unlawful. He supports peaceful protests, and I could agree with him on that. But my whole point is saying that you have these credible people that are coming out and saying things about Lynn Wood. What's going on? Also, the media, they did a terrible job. And I like how when Tucker asked him about, lawsuits against Joe Biden for calling him a white supremacist, things like that, I like how he said, well, I got lawyers on the case. They're going to handle it. Basically saying, I have my lawyers on deck. They're going to do that. I won't do anything. I'll just stay in the back and let them do it. I'm not trying to jeopardize that. So I think there will be some massive lawsuits, because how are you going to have Joe Biden, the president of the USA, try to call Kyle Rittenhouse a white supremacist? Because there was a video, and if I can find a screenshot of the video, I'll put it on the screen. Give me a second. But there was a montage back during the campaign in 2020 where Biden was talking about Trump refusing to denounce white supremacy, all this, that, and the third. Okay. And in that montage, they showed Kyle Rittenhouse. Matter of fact, here it is. So you see it right there? Here's a screenshot. Hold on. Matter of fact, let me just do this right here so you guys can see the full thing. So this is from Joe Biden's account, and the caption says, "There's no other way to put it. The president of the United States," because this is back last year before he got elected, allegedly, "refused to disavow white supremacists on the debate stage last night." And you see Kyle Rittenhouse right there, and it says, "as we saw in Kenosha." So that's part of a montage. They showed him white supremacists, and they're showing Kyle Rittenhouse from Joe Biden himself. So obviously, this is false. If he's a white supremacist, if he's all these negative things, then why did he not get convicted? Why is he not in jail? You shouldn't be able to call somebody something like that unless you have evidence or proof. If you don't have proof, if you don't have evidence, if it's false, you're talking about libel and or slander. That is something that you can actually sue somebody for and win big time in court. I think Nick Salmon won against the Common News Network. So shall my man Kyle Rittenhouse all day long. Oh yeah, all these people, the Joyanne Reeds, all of them, Rachel Madcow, all of them, they all said negative things. There was a whole montage, a whole supercut of people saying things about Kyle Rittenhouse that just simply weren't true. But overall, getting back to the Tucker interview, I think Kyle did a very good job, presented himself very well, very well-spoken young man, and he'll go far. He said he wants to be a nurse, going to Arizona State University, but he might be a lawyer also, because probably because he saw all the prosecutorial misconduct that happened in this case and that happens across the country. Now, one thing Kyle said was, well, I could have been a person of color without many resources. I'm like, all right, that ain't really it. The reason why his case went the way it went is because he's white. Now, if he was a person of color, this wouldn't even be a case. It wouldn't even been charged. You wouldn't know about it. I wouldn't know about it. That'd be pretty much it. Okay. So he's not right on that. But as far as cases, as far as things happening that shouldn't be happening in the courtroom, he's right about that. He's like right on the money, but not quite there. It's like you swinging a hammer, but you're missing the nail. The nail's right there, but you're missing it by a quarter of an inch. Move it over a little bit, you be dead on, Kyle. There is prosecutorial misconduct all over the nation, but it's less about, people of color and whatnot. A lot of it is politically driven. People weaponize the court system to get their way. Not only with the federales, but also in local courts. They get their way with the court system. There's all kind of corruption and, bribes, money changing hands, all kind of stuff. Especially when talking about the federales. Okay, look at what's going on right now with Pfizer. Pfizer, the current head of the FDA, what's his name? Scott Gottlieb, used to be the head of Pfizer. Matter of fact, hold on, let me try to find that right quick. Oh, he's a board member of Pfizer. Pardon me, not the head of Pfizer. Hold on, head of FDA, board member, Pfizer, Scott Gottlieb. All I did was search in Google, head of FDA, board member Pfizer, and Scott Gottlieb came right on up. Okay. So yeah, that kind of stuff. Here's an article right here. This is on CNBC. So, it ain't just some kind of right-wing conspiracy, InfoWars, some kind of site that somebody might want to debunk. Here it is, right on CNBC. Former FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb joins Pfizer board of directors. Okay. Now, are you surprised that they're getting all the right of way to the boosters and they're the ones that got the pills coming out and stuff like that? Are you surprised? Are you surprised that all these television shows are brought to you by Pfizer? Everything sponsored by Pfizer? Come on, you got like a pseudo government agency. They can just switch them out like Legos. Okay, you over here in the FDA. All right, go to Pfizer. It's like the post office. This is crazy. Okay, so this whole thing about the reason why the shot is politicized is because the medical industry is political in nature. Look at the whole thing with health insurance. That's political too. They got it to where if you don't pay health insurance, but they had it like that. Thank God for Trump. That has been repealed, right? As far as the penalty. The way they had it was if you didn't buy health insurance, you would get taxed. They would garnish your tax return. Huh? Why do we have the healthcare industry tied in with the government? It's because it already is. It already is. Look at this. Former FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb joins Pfizer board of directors. And the same thing can be said when you're talking about the media. Okay, this person over at ABC used to be in the government. This person at CNBC is married to this director in the CIA, all this and that. That's very common. The DC swamp is not just politics. It's medical industry. It's all types of stuff. All kind of stuff. The media, academia, everything. The swamp is so deep, it's hard to really understand, right? Derek Smith says, why does it take an 18-year-old to bring the country together? Hey, sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you never know who your heroes are. If they're chosen, and they got to do what they got to do, right? So yeah, this whole vax thing ain't nothing but it's nothing but a way to make money. It's about money, period. And it's politicized because it's political. The vax industry is like an arm. Big Pharma is an arm of the government at the end of the day. So if they want to make money, then they'll tax you. That's going on right now. Oh, the vax is free. The booster is free. Is it free? Or is the government paying for it? Of course. When the Fed spend money, it comes from you. When Big Pharma spends money, it comes from you. That's it. when big pharma sells something, they don't sell it to you, they sell it to the government. And then the government gives it to you. It's your own tax money coming back. So when they raising taxes, when they're creating all kind of debt, Build Back Better, $18 trillion on the bill, you're paying for that. And it won't make your life better. It will just enrich these people. That's all. I've been to DC, I've seen how they live. They're just living off your tax money. They drinking champagne in a gold glass, spilling it on the ground like Ric Flair during a wrestling promo off of your money. How does that feel? Not very good for me. Not very good. You know, I'm paying money to the federales, and then I'm getting letters in the mail talking about you didn't pay, you're going to put a lien on your house. Meanwhile, I see people with the gold champagne glass spilling wine on the ground, doing whatever they want to do off my money that I paid. They have no issue cashing them checks, but then, oh, we don't know where it went. We don't know how to. All right. So dumb. But if you like what you're hearing so far, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. I like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And we are going to get into Ahmaud Arbery. So this case is really polarizing, of course. And I kind of called it right when the story first broke last year. Like February 2020, I called it right then. Now, the initial story from the media was that you had a jogger, which I'm going to get to the updates. Y'all just hang tight. The first story that came out from the media back last year, almost 2 years ago now, was that you had a black jogger going through a neighborhood just on his way jogging, and some white guys thought he was a thief, and they pulled their gun out and they shot him in the street, left him for dead. That was the first story that came from the media. But the actual story came out and some details were revealed that put the real information out there. Here's what happened. So Ahmaud Arbery may have been a jogger, but he was not jogging. You understand? There's videotape of him just walking through the neighborhood. Matter of fact, hold on. I'm going to try to pull it up because I did the video last year, and I'm going to go ahead and, matter of fact, I have it right here. Hold on. Y'all hang tight right quick. I'm going to put a video up, and let's see. Okay. So let's do it this way. Now, y'all just pay close attention. Hold on. Let's do this so you can see the full thing. Now, there's a little caption down here. It says, the GBI is reviewing this video investigation of the death of Ahmaud Arbery. The video appears to be struck a 911 caller statements that a man had entered a construction site on Satella Drive in the minutes before the fatal shooting. So you're going to see in the upper right-hand corner, Ahmaud Arbery appear. So let's go ahead and play it. So wait for a minute. This kind of sped up a little bit, as you can tell by the movements of the trees and whatnot. So I'm going to pause it when he comes in the frame. There you go. Boom. Now, is he jogging right there? I mean, it's videotape. Like, it ain't me saying nothing. Is he jogging right there? Let's play it. I'm going to go back a little bit so you can see him enter the frame. Is he jogging? Huh? So he pauses right there, and that's the house that's being worked on. You see the porta john right in front, the porta potty? That's a hallmark sign of a construction site. So they're working on the house. I'm not sure if it was a new build or if they're remodeling. Whatever it was, the garage right here, you see right in front of the porta john, or behind the porta john, pardon me. The garage has no doors on it. It's wide open because they're working on it. And when you see the video from inside, it's just studs, no flooring. It's empty, basically, because they're building it and they're remodeling. And at this point where I stopped the video, Ahmaud Arbery goes from walking to a brisk walk inside the home. So if he was jogging, he was not jogging right there. Why walk up to the house, look and see, hey, it's wide open, and then go inside? Okay? Now, so the whole jogging narrative was not true. So after he goes in the house where he shouldn't have been, I think everybody pretty much knows that. Some people say they go into houses that are being built like that, but, you know, he shouldn't have been there. The way he was looking around, he shouldn't have been there. But anyway, especially when he ran away when somebody yelled at him. You see, if you are not doing anything wrong and somebody says, hey, why would you run away? Why do that? You're not doing anything wrong. Why run away? But anyway, he ran after somebody said, hey. So when you see him and he was confronted by the McMichaels and the other man, he was not jogging right there. He was trying to get away because somebody caught him in the house. That's what happened. Now, here's where things go wrong, and this is where the law comes in. So after they found him in the house, somebody yells, hey, he runs away. Here comes the three neighbors, the McMichaels and William, I forget his name, his last name. You guys know what I'm talking about. They tried to cut him off for a citizen's arrest. Now, in Georgia, I'm going to tell you this. In Georgia, you can do a couple different things. The first thing is, if you think somebody committed a crime, you're able to follow them and then call the police. Okay? If you see someone commit a felony, you're able to confront them and do an arrest until the police get there. So if you got your guns or whatever, it's okay. If they resist and then you had a fire, in that scenario, if you see them commit a felony and they resist and you fire in that scenario, or they try to fight you or whatever and they get injured or they die, you probably beat the case because you had, under the law, the ability to conduct citizen's arrest. In this case, that wasn't the case because they did not actually see him commit any crime. They think he might have committed crimes before. Maybe it was him, but maybe it wasn't, but they didn't see him. All they saw was him in the house. They said, hey, and they ran off. He didn't have anything on him. They didn't see him commit a felony. You see what I'm saying? The most he did that they may have seen was trespassing. It's not a felony. So the law is very clear when it comes to that. So they try to confront him to arrest him, you know, till the police get there. They're on the phone with the police the whole time. There's a struggle with the gun. Ahmaud Arbery and I think Travis McMichael are fighting over the gun. Now, I'm not sure how they got right there. I'm not sure if, because there was two cars involved. There was a car with the other neighbor. He was filming in his car. He probably was the first person that Ahmaud Arbery encountered. So he goes around that car. Now, right in front of him, you got the McMichaels with their gun out. So I'm not really sure why he went toward the gun. I'm not sure what his thought process was. But either way, he gets to Travis, who has a shotgun out already, and then the gun goes off and it kills Ahmaud Arbery. Now, I don't know if Travis pulled the trigger, if it was an accident, meaning they're struggling for the gun, and then it goes off in the struggle, or if Ahmaud Arbery pulled it trying to shoot Travis. Either way it goes, the gun goes off, the shotgun goes off, and it kills Ahmaud Arbery. So now the situation is, okay, is there a crime that's been committed here? If, according to the judge now, not my opinion, the judge says if there was legitimate reason for citizen's arrest, then that's just what it is. But if not, then everything changes. If you have a legitimate reason to arrest him on a citizen level, what happened there would pretty much be legal. If not, you're talking about false imprisonment, attempted kidnapping, murder, aggravated assault, and that's what happened, you know, at the end of it. That's what happened. They were convicted of all those other crimes because there was no grounds for them to do a legal citizen's arrest. As simple as that. It ain't really nothing else to it. Now, I think this could have been prevented if Ahmaud Arbery wasn't in the house, but the whole house thing, that wasn't really that much. They needed more than that. You needed to see him do something that was actually a felony. You know, trespassing and stuff like that, you can't actually do the citizen's arrest for trespassing. Like, if he was in there, if you saw him, like, throw a Molotov cocktail on the wood studs and try to burn the house down, you could do that all day long. The whole sequence of events would have been justified at that point, but not for what they thought he did. Matter of fact, I'm going to play where somebody in court recounted what I think Travis McMichael said about the whole situation, saying, I thought that might have been him. It looked like him that had been stealing before, but I'm not sure. And even if it was him that was in there before stealing things, you can't conduct that kind of arrest because of what somebody did previously. You got to see him do it like at that moment. You see what I'm saying? Because if it's previously, first of all, like you're late, but really, you don't even know if that's him. It might be, but it might not be. Hold on. So let's play that clip right quick. Hold on. Let's get some sound up right quick. And we're going to get to here. Here's the clip. And there we go.
The Glenn County Police Department. He makes admissions to seeing Mr. Arbery running down the roadway. His statement to the effect is he didn't know Mr. Arbery had stolen anything or not, but he had a gut feeling that Mr. Arbery may have been responsible for thefts that were in the neighborhood previously. And I think he actually says gut. His instinct told him that.
So he thought that it might be him. His gut instinct told him that. So that's not quite enough. First of all, again, it has to be something that happened like right at that moment. You got to see him do something like right at that moment when you do the citizen's arrest. But even if you could do it retroactively, he didn't know if it was him. Now, it could have been him. He could have been the guy that was stealing before, but you can't do that under the law. So the law is the law. It is what it is. And I said that last time too. Some said that the law was edited for this particular case. I said the same thing last year because I read it last year. I read the law last year, and the law says you can follow someone and call the police if there was a crime suspected, but you can't approach them unless there was a felony committed that you saw, a felony committed. And the whole thing about what Ahmaud Arbery was doing, is that a felony? Like what? Trespass, criminal trespass, is that a felony? But you go to jail for that or to the penitentiary for that? I'm not quite sure. So ultimately, I think the correct decision was made. Now, some are asking, well, why did you have to convict everyone, including William, the other neighbor? Why was everyone convicted of murder? Except for, I think Travis had a higher degree of murder. Matter of fact, hold on. Let's look at some of the convictions and charges here, and we can kind of just go from there. So, okay, so you have, here is William Bryan. That's the guy, the other neighbor, right? He was found not guilty of malice murder, but guilty of felony murder, 4 counts, aggravated assault, 2 counts, false imprisonment, and criminal attempt to commit a felony. Now, the way that it works in Georgia, from what I've been able to read, is that if you're basically present during a murder, like the malice murder, and you do all these, aggravated assault, false imprisonment, because he was part of citizen's arrest. That was part of what he was trying to do. If you do these things while a murder happens, that means you committed the murder. Felony murder is not necessarily a murder. You can be found guilty of that without actually killing anybody. That's how it works in Georgia. That's just the law. So that's William Bryan. And then you have Gregory McMichael, the father, and then Travis. He's found guilty of malice murder because he's the one that pulled the trigger. So he's found guilty of the most serious murder charge, but the 2 guys are essentially his accomplices. They were there. It's like if somebody robs a bank and you happen to be there with a money bag holding it, or you go into the joint as well. You may not have robbed the bank. You may not have been the getaway driver, but you were there. You were involved with it, so you're going to be found guilty as everyone else is. I've seen this I see this a lot, though. That's why you can't be with everybody. You can't rob with everybody, because if somebody kills somebody and you were in the car with them, guess what? You go into the jail, to the penitentiary too. The only way that William Bryan may have been able to avoid going to the joint is if he snitched. But he was involved with it. He was the guy that was recording it. He had his car trying to block Ahmaud Arbery too. So if he snitched, they would have snitched on him. It would have canceled out, in my humble opinion. But you guys may know more than I do about that. So if I'm wrong about that, y'all give me a call in a few minutes here. But it is what it is. That's pretty much what happened. Rest in peace to Ahmaud Arbery. Prayers out to his family. And I have a good clip for you guys. This clip, unfortunately, is being clowned by a lot of the pro-blacks. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be this way, but I think it's a good unifying clip. I'm going to try to find that right quick. Y'all give me a second. Here we go. This is Ahmaud Arbery's father, and y'all going to like this, so y'all hang tight. And let's put it up here. Put that over there. There we go. Hold on. Thank you for tea. All right, we lit. So you see the caption here. It says, Ahmaud Arbery's father declares all lives matter. Al Sharpton appears to repeat all lives. Hashtag Ahmaud Arbery verdict.
For real, all life matters.
All life.
Yes. Not just black children. We don't want to see nobody go through this.
No. Amen.
I don't want to see no daddy watch a kid get lynched and shot down like that.
That's right, Mom.
So it's all our problem. It's all our problem. So, hey, let's keep fighting. Let's keep doing it and making this place a better place for all human beings.
Amen.
All human beings.
Amen.
Everybody.
Amen.
Love everybody.
Love everybody.
All human beings need to be treated equally.
Yeah.
So they're trying to touch him and get him off the stage. It's like, no, Ben Crump, let me get up here. I'm the father. I'm going to say all lives matter right now. Don't touch me. Don't try to brush me off. I'm good. I know what I'm saying right now. Yeah, I got this, deep down south Georgia boy accent, but you're going to hear what I got to say. All lives matter. All human beings matter.
For real, all life matters.
All life.
Yes. Not just black children. We don't want to see nobody go through this. No.
There you go. So shout out to Ahmaud Arbery's dad for at least saying, all lives matter, because they do. Everybody's life matters, right? Oh, but the pro-wax don't like that. They call them all kind of names. I'm like, yo, that's it's weird because they're talking about, they crying for Ahmaud Arbery and all this and that, but then when his dad come out and say all lives matter, they want to attack his father. It's like, how you going to cry for the man and then attack his dad in the same breath? How does it make any sense? If you want to cry for the man, it should be you should say prayers out to his family, right? Not, his daddy is all types of negative stuff. It's ridiculous. But it is what it is. All right. So there we go. And we got super chats on deck. I'm going to get to those, and then I'm going to get to the calls. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, y'all let me know in the super chat and also in the calls in a little bit. So hold on one second. Let me go to what the super chats are, because they ain't hiding. And thank y'all for being here yet again. Definitely appreciate you guys. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, go ahead and get the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And let's go to where we got to be. All right. Shout out to Apu for a few supers already in the very beginning, who says, happy Thanksgiving to you, ABL, and all your fans. Thank you for that. And it says, I am Canadian, but I am grateful for America. Okay, so you guys don't do Thanksgiving in Canada. It's unfortunate, you know what I mean? You got to eat your poutine and your maple syrup and whatnot. But anyway, shout out to Apple again, who says, America has been the greatest force for the good ever. From @Doug Ripley, ABL, you like baked or fried turkey? I like fried turkey, but you got to be safe, man. You got to be a bomb expert to make the turkey, man. I ain't trying to have nobody, fry no turkey and one of them things have it explode. So if you're gonna fry turkey, do it right, do it safe. Don't blow your house up trying to cook no fried turkey. But I do like fried turkey. Okay, but the safest turkey is baked turkey. Also, ABL, you gonna live stream on Wednesday, December the 1st from Arizona? I may. That's a good question. I may live stream from there. We'll see. We'll see how busy I am. Let me see. Also, RIP Jackson Sparks. God bless family. Hello Boy for Life 2002 says, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Or did they change the name of it already? Happy holidays, my fellow Americans. Hey, thank you for that. Definitely appreciate you. No, it's still the same. Happy Thanksgiving. We ain't going to change that at all. Not in the least bit. And me go back here. Also, shame on BLM from Apu again. Shame on BLM. No regard for lots of kids. Also, ABL, you and your fans are gun experts. Well, I don't know nothing about that because, all my guns, they're gone. Tragic accident. I'm still trying to recover. But anyway, did you see that father and daughter who were armed in Kenosha? Were those airsoft rifles or NFAC carrying toys fakes? Now, NFAC, they carrying real guns because they already had some accidental discharges and they didn't shot themselves with the guns, I think, twice already. So now they're carrying real guns. There was one guy that was literally dual wielding rifles. He had two rifles in his hands at the same time. Like it might have been in one hand. It was like some video game stuff. I'm like, sir, please stop. You're gonna mess around and shoot your own self to death. But I did see the father and daughter armed, and it was fine. They were trying to say they were trying to make it be like this would destroy the right. It's like, don't nobody care. It's actually pretty good. We probably support that more than the left does. And he's talking about this right here. Hold on. We probably support this right here more than the left. So it's no big deal, And the caption from New York Post says, armed father-daughter duo march alongside anti-Rittenhouse protesters to protect them. So yeah, it's fine. Hey man, you're doing a good job by your daughter, man. Right on. Now, I may not agree with all this black woke stuff you got going on, but it's fine. And you have the right to defend yourself the same as everybody else does. So it's cool. Ain't nobody tripping. I actually like that picture. So shout out to them. I don't agree with the politics, but I agree with their right to be able to bear arms, period. Regardless, as long as ain't nobody doing nothing illegal, go for it. Yeah, that was a super that was a super backfire on their part. They probably that picture is probably shared more by us than by the other side. So it was dumb. All right. So let me go back over here where I was. Apple says, will normies turn on BLM because Math Boy rampage? No, because they gonna like ignore that. That'll be ignored. If the media does not tell them about that, they'll ignore it. These BLM people, they pretty much they believe whatever the media tells them for the most part. Also, shout out to JJ Watt paying for funerals of Waukesha victims. Yes, shout out to JJ Watt. Very good gesture that he did, paying for their funerals, 100%. Also, God bless January 6th, MAGA Patriots in DC jail, solitary. And will FBI stop these flash robs? Do something. Hey, man, the FBI, they worried about moms at school board meetings. They ain't worried about nobody robbing these convenience stores to the point where they go out of business. They're not worried about that. They're not worried about actual crime, violent crime, retail theft, drugs, southern border. No. Moms in the school board meeting, that's more important to the federales right now. Jason Hope says, hope you have a happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. Will do. Apple says, do I have any funny stories from Thanksgiving for the family? Not that I really know of. I can't think of anything right now, but I'm sure some would come to me. All I ever remember as, being a kid, and it'd be so much food. It'd be food on the washer and dryer. I mean, everywhere. Pies and just crazy stuff, man. So I just have positive memories of all that good food, in West Virginia and places like that for sure. Bryce Clump says, what is his defense? I couldn't see through the whiteout. I'm not sure what you mean there. I don't understand what that's in reference to. Fauna Faye says, Long Beach Unified School District in California is making all gender locker rooms so both genders change and shower together. Parents speak up. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, at a certain point, you got to just think, who's in charge making these rules? Why would they have that kind of change in there? Who's the kind of person that want to have kids shower together of different genders? Just think about it for a minute and it'll come to you. Oh, as far as Bryce, you're probably talking about the Waukesha attacker. Ain't no defense. Ain't no defense. The guy was just, just committing a terror attack. That's just really what it is. Shout out to boy Kachina, who says, wish we were a better neighbor, Canada. Thanks, and to ABL. Thank you to Justice Smith, who says, getting opt or solitary confinement. I'm not sure what that is. OPPED. I don't know what that is. You got to speak in civilian language, sir. I know you in law enforcement, but I have no idea what you're talking about. You got to speak in normie, because I don't understand. Jean-Louis Blackburn says, well, Wood is a lawyer. Well, I can't tell. He's a bad lawyer, apparently. I think it's a Concert LD who says, how was Rittenhouse bail $2 million first-time offender, but yet Brooks, which took the prosecutor 8 minutes to read off his past charges, only $5 million? I mean, the bail is just so dumb. Like, the whole thing is dumb, really. It's all politically motivated. I think the reason why his bail was even that high, as far as the Waukesha attacker, Waukesha, pardon me, is because of the prior very low bail that was too low, and then because of all the media attention. And you can't have it be lower than Kyle Rittenhouse. So, you know what I mean? Go to $5 million. Thank you to Elizabeth C., who says, I appreciate that you really research your work. That video with similar situation with the person of color was very telling. I find you very fair. Thank you for that. I call it how I see it. I'm a truthful and honest person. That's just me. All day long. All day long. Thank you to Lily J for your donation. Thank you to Rob S for the donation who says supporting. I appreciate it. Thank you to Justice Smith, who says, so paying for the flu shot is fine, but for the virus, no. Well, I don't take the flu shot either, so I'm not in favor of government being involved with my health care. That's just it. Regardless, period. I don't care if they giving out free prophylactics. I'm good money. Just get out of all this stuff. Thank you to Jose for #1 fan emoji. Appreciate you for that. Thank you to Laura Catherine, who says, ABL, thank you for doing a live show the night before Thanksgiving. Happy Turkey Day to you and yours, and to all your listeners. Thank you. Thank you to boy Kachina, who says, somewhere said his uncle was an electrician and copper is spendy. Thank you to Gage Gorskut's right arm, who says, ABL, why did Kyle Rittenhouse shoot me? Hilarious. Hilarious. Shout out to Hake, my man. Hake says, appreciate you, ABL. Hey, no problem, man. Thank you for being here. Appreciate y'all for what y'all do. Thank you to Samuel Robinson, who says, I appreciate you and your content. Very informative. I appreciate you speaking out and voicing your concerns. I believe the mainstream media is the enemy of the state. Right on. Right on. They are the enemy. And they should be more responsible, but they're not. They don't really care. They're all about pushing a certain narrative. They'll lie, they'll cheat, they'll steal, they'll do anything. There's no values, there's no morals. Let's do whatever. And that's not a very good way to be. And thank you to Marks Trevino, who says, happy Thanksgiving, ABL. Thank you for your donation and your support. Couldn't do it without y'all. And you guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. We're going to get into the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Yeah, exactly. What's that? Jerry, Gerry. The mainstream media said the SUV did it as far as the Waukesha attack. Crazy. It's like, did the SUV drive itself? Is that what happened? Was it an accident? No, it wasn't. You have a person that intentionally drove a vehicle through a crowd of people. That's what happened. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the calls here. Let's let Skype fire up, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. And y'all just hang tight. Okay, let's go. All right, you're on the line. I'm speaking to 407.
Hey, man, how you doing? This is Keith calling in from Virginia.
Oh, it's all good, man. What's going on?
Yeah, I was calling to talk about how some of these people on social media like to play real dirty when it comes to talking about facts and whatnot. So I had a guy, I saw a post from him, and he was basically saying that white supremacist Kyle Rittenhouse, basically got away with murder. And my first comment was, what does this have to do with white supremacy, laughing emojis? And, he had this big copy and paste looking list of, those leftist talking points. So basically what he was saying was anybody who's an ally to BLM, black people, all that, well, no matter what color they are, is going to end up being an enemy as long as they're fighting injustice with us. So, of course, me being snappy the way I am, I'm like, I'm trying to figure out how this child predator who attacked somebody, who was burning stuff, who was yelling the N-word, tried to take a gun from him, and somehow he's fighting injustice.
Exactly. That's my thing. I mean, but see, they don't do any research. All they know is, okay, BLM. They think he supports BLM. He might not, but they think that he does. So that's all that matters. They don't care too much about him. They don't care about his story. And they don't care that Kyle Rittenhouse said that he supports BLM. He said it. Now, he said he doesn't support all the looting and the rioting, but he supports BLM. So how is he going to square that? When he hears that, he probably can't even compute. He probably just totally reject the information. He did not hear the child predator say he supports BLM, but he did hear Kyle say he supports BLM. But he won't believe the person that said it. He will believe the person that didn't say it. It's all about the media brainwashing them.
Yep, and about that, I don't even think he's brainwashed, because there were other people along with me making comments trying to spread the truth and countering some of this fake information out there. And what he ended up doing after that, he turned off the comments. He started deleting everybody who didn't agree with him. So I'm like, this dude knows the truth. He just don't want it to get out. And I think that's a lot of the problem out here, why we can't get the truth out, because when these people start losing, they just turn off the comments, and start deleting everything that was the truth.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's all I wanted to say. We got to find a way to combat that. I don't know if we need to get on these social media companies about allowing these people to turn off comments the moment they start losing the battle. But, yeah. Yeah. Everybody have a good night. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And I'll let you get to the next call. You have a good night.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, they always do that. Want to turn off the comments and stuff like that, especially on Twitter. They want to try to, limit replies, Instagram too. That's classic. But at that point, like you said, that's when they lose in the argument, when they want to do something like that. Hallmark response. Let's go to 707 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Mr. Logan, that's Johnny Robertson here.
All righty, what's going on?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up both facts on Ahmaud Arbery and Kyle Rittenhouse. I've called in quite a few times before. I'm a combat veteran. I'd just like to bring up the fact on how I wouldn't say hypocrisy or anything like that, but I was sitting at the VA hospital in my local town the other day, and somebody was telling me how Kyle Rittenhouse should be hanged, but the people in Georgia should be free. That it was complete opposite. The people in Georgia that killed Ahmaud Arbery, that's evident. They should have been. There shouldn't even have been a trial. That was out and out murder, and Kyle Rittenhouse should be free. And I got into quite a bit of a argument with a fellow veteran, and I'm just wondering what your stance is on the out and out on, both cases. Like, I watch you every time. I just, I think it's blatant.
Well, like, are you asking me about my take on both cases? Is that the question?
Correct. Right and wrong. My stance is Kyle Rittenhouse should have been freed. There shouldn't have been no trial, and there shouldn't have been no trial in Georgia because they should have been tried.
Well, I mean, it's pretty, like you say, it's pretty open and shut, in my opinion. I mean, in Georgia, The law was violated. You can't do the citizen's arrest unless you know somebody committed a felony and you witnessed it. That didn't happen. So that was really the case. There was no more beyond that. So that was pretty much open and shut. And then as far as Kyle Rittenhouse, the videotape clearly shows him being attacked by running away, trying to avoid the drama. And he had no choice but to defend himself from those who were trying to attack him. So that was also open and shut. But what happens is people kind of get their feelings into it. They get the politics into it when it shouldn't even be about that. It should be about what's fact, what's fiction, what's right, wrong, legal, illegal. That's it.
Correct. And that's the whole, my whole question is what's right and what's wrong. I live in Richmond, California. I'm not too far from where all this looting and rioting is going on. And videotape has a lot to do with it. And thank God that guy videotaped himself doing something stupid.
Right. Exactly.
But I appreciate you taking my call. Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, it's open and shut for me. It's just the facts. I don't really dig too much into the emotion behind cases like this. And it can get emotional, of course, but it is what it is. Right? That's all. All right, let's go to 912. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 912, hello.
Hey, what's going on, ABL?
Ain't too much, man. What's going on?
Nothing, man. First and foremost, it's Joe Davis Media Network. I know I haven't talked to you in a while.
Oh, yeah, man. It's all good, man. What's going on?
Yeah, man. I want to talk about the Ahmaud Arbery case and also Kyle Rittenhouse. The reason why I was glad that I left a comment what you said today about the Ahmaud Arbery case is because I live in the area where it went down at, and it needs to be said, and it needs to come from a conservative perspective like you, the way you broke it down. The law is the law,
right?
And you can't break the law and expect for people to just turn a blind eye, because if that's the case, then our justice system would be null and void for everybody across the board.
Right.
And I'm glad that you also stated that we got to start, that people got to stop using the color scale for everything that goes on in America. Now, whether these guys were racist or not, I'm not them. We are not inside of their hearts. But one thing we do know is that they did not listen to the commands that was advised to them on that 911 call, and they became vigilantes, and now this is their fate.
That's a very good point. I almost forgot about that part where they were on a 911 call, and they were told to do one thing, but they didn't do that thing. So they did not follow directions. What they wound up doing was not lawful. So it's nothing else to it. People can say whatever Ahmaud Arbery did before that, but see, it's not really relevant, especially since there was no felony committed. Now, if he was to do something like I was saying in the video, if he was to burn the house down and they caught him with the fire can in his hand, with the gas can in his hand, running from the burning house, that's something different, but that's not the case. So the whole situation was about following the law. And if they broke the law, that's just it.
Yeah, exactly. And then another thing, too, that everybody also has to recognize, too, the reason why there was not that many, as we would call it on our side, what we as conservatives call the Wokians, was not on this case as much as the other cases, is because Ahmaud Arbery parents, starting with his mother first, when this all went down and they started gaining traction, Donald J. Trump reached out to her, talked about that on an interview. And he had told her that if he was to, provide assistance, look into it, that would she meet him when things kind of settled down at the White House with her lawyers. That's with all the Wokian lawyers that was around them. And she said yes. Well, magically, GBI, everybody got involved. The McMichaels got arrested. Well, a month after that, they had a sit down, and she even bragged about after the sit down that Donald J. Trump was one of the most sincere people she ever met in her life.
Wow. Okay.
And she got a lot of backlash for that.
Oh yeah, of course, because that's against the Wokian narrative. You can't do that. That's like going to the devil and talking to him, having a good conversation. So yeah, that's definitely a big time no. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, look it up, ABL, because I sent it to you on an email because I've been trying to get you on my show for the longest, but that's neither here nor there because I know we're not talking about that tonight. But I had sent that email to you when it first went down.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta look it up, man. That definitely it makes sense too. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of people were upset with her because they did not think that she was going to take that sit down. They thought she was going to be crazy as other. And this young man, he came from a good family. It's just that, like a lot of kids, man, just wanted to do his own thing, and that's why he kept going back and forth, getting into trouble.
Right.
And now the Kyle Rittenhouse case, we already knew that was already self-defense. You couldn't. Ray Charles could see that, and he blind.
It was clear. I mean, he was getting chased. He was getting chased, and he fell. So it was like, if you're getting chased and you fall down, and you got a skateboard coming at your head, and you shoot the person with the skateboard and with the gun, the guy had a gun pointed at his head. What else is that other than self-defense? It's open and shut.
Yes, it is, and I agree, man. And that's one thing I respect about how you also brought that down along with you and Officer Tatum when y'all had the panel along with Jericho. Y'all all broke that down to perfection about the laws and how that would work with self-defense. And y'all was right. They even had me looking up some of those laws too, especially based upon Wisconsin area as well.
Yep.
So either way it goes, ABL, I also want to inform you because I can't never get you through email, and I'm sorry. I apologize. I know you're trying to do your show, but me and Jericho and all the guys in Black Conservative Perspective having a big panel, and I would love for you to come on and join us.
Okay, so when is the panel?
It's going to be sometime in December. It'll probably be before Christmas, probably the first, second week of December.
Okay. I mean, that sounds good, though. I mean, let me know the exact date so I can be there. Wednesday and Saturday, I'm booked up, obviously, with my show. But if it's not one of those days, then I can do it.
All right, yeah, that's fine. Usually we do the big panels. It's either on a Tuesday or it's on the weekend.
Okay. All right, that'll work.
So, again, thank you for letting me have a chance to call in, brother, and continue with the good work, bro.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Anytime, man.
All right. Shout out to Joe Davis Media Network. Y'all follow him on the YouTubes. He does have a channel. Yeah, I'm going to do that panel. I'll be tripping, like not going on a bunch of shows, but I'm going to do that panel. Let's get to a few more calls. So the number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And let's go 601. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Ariel, it's Justice.
All right, man. What's going on?
Hey, I just have something to say, sir. I have a lot to unpack here. First, where we can start at, let's start with Ahmaud Arbery. So, remember when I said something about vigilantes from last week about Kyle Rittenhouse? Well, now you got two of them, not Batman, but Batman and Robin. Okay, first off, set the record straight. I went to state every year in track. You can look it up. Justin Smith, MS mile split for Haysburg, North Forest High School. You can look it up. I went to state every year in track. I ran on traces. I ran in neighborhoods. I ran apartment complexes. I ran, and guess what? When you get done running 2 miles, what do? You got to stop to get your breath. You stop running sometimes. 2, my dad was a contractor, Smith's Remodeling, Haysburg, Mississippi. You can look that up as well, Haysburg, Mississippi here. He was a contractor. He built houses. He locked them. And if they didn't have tools in them, he kept them unlocked. And if they were built for the city, they were open houses. Anybody could go in anytime. There was nothing in there. You couldn't take nothing. If they could take something, that was the carpenter's fault. 3, the guy had on active clothing wear. Joggers, not joggers, shorts, T-shirt. That's what most people run in, especially a lot of us. We like to wear long shorts, T-shirt, we're good. 4, those guys were told by the dispatcher who was on the phone not to do anything. If somebody's chasing you, me personally, if I have on headphones and I turn around for a split second and I see a big Dodge Ram 1500 or Ford Raptor and I see 2 guys, no matter what they are, with guns coming out of the car, I'm either going to run away or at least try to disarm them. So, with all of that being said, those guys were definitely in the wrong. They murked op. That's what that means. That's a better word for op, so YouTube doesn't delete the comment. They opped them, and now there's a guy who has lost his life because of people that don't want to follow instructions.
Okay, now as far as
of a hunch.
Okay, now I agree with as far as them not following directions and them doing the wrong thing. Obviously, they broke the law. They shouldn't be doing what they were doing. But let's go back to this whole thing about jogging. Okay, if you're jogging and you take a break, right, you're still breathing pretty elevated. So why would you go into a construction site with all kind of sawdust and other stuff that you're going to breathe in? Why would you do that? How does it make any sense? Like at that moment, I'm not saying you can't never go in there, but why, if you were jogging, why would you go into a site filled with sawdust and stuff when you're trying to breathe heavy?
I don't know about the salt. Well, nobody was in there, so sawdust wouldn't be like just flying around inside of the area of the home. I get what you're saying, though.
You see what I'm saying?
But
like,
if
you
like walking.
Because
Yeah, I get what you're saying,
I mean, like my house, we built my house like recently, and we would come in here when they were building it, and even if ain't nobody in here working, you still gonna have sawdust and all kind of, because it's, you know, you still down to the studs, it's not stuff up, so you're gonna have sawdust, possibly insulation and stuff just kind of out there. You ain't trying to breathe that when you just got done jogging, right? That's not really what you want to do. So I don't really see why he would go inside the house if he was just taking the break from jogging. And then the next thing is, okay, if you're just in there chilling, minding your business, just wandering around looking, when somebody says, hey, why was you running away?
Okay, for the first one, the door it looked like there was sunlight in there. So if there was sunlight in there, so something was open, the sawdust probably didn't affect him that much. I mean, he wasn't in there that long. He wasn't in there for it to completely affect him.
But why?
His tempo was down.
But you know that it's going to be in there. Why would you go in there at that? If you're jogging, why would you do that?
I mean, he was probably just curious.
Okay, so then when somebody says, hey, and he runs, why would you do that if you're just curious and you're just a jogger and that's it?
Okay, that one. If they say, hey, that'll be a whole different story. Like if they drove by me and they said, hey, and I took my headphones out and they stayed in the truck and they were just trying to figure out who I was, then that would be different. But these guys said, hey, and had guns in their hands. That's a completely different scenario where somebody would act completely different.
Now, who had the guns in their hand? Because do we know who said, hey?
I'm guessing you're assuming that they said, hey, when they tried to stop them.
The question is, do we know?
Ahmaud.
The question is, do we know who said, hey?
No.
So why are you saying that the reason why he ran is because they had guns? You don't know that.
Because in the video, when they literally like drove right by him and they came up to him and they had their guns at him, he tried to, it looks like he tried to disarm one. I think that was the son.
See, you're going ahead in time.
It was foggy.
You're going ahead in time. You're talking about at the end of the situation where he was confronted by the McMichaels and the other guy. I'm talking about when he was in the house. You're talking about after he ran out the house. So you don't know who was saying hey to him before he actually left the house, before he confronted the McMichaels and people like that.
Was somebody saying hey to him?
Yes, that's why he ran out the house. Because remember, he was walking up to the house. He went inside. He's looking around. Then somebody says, hey, like somebody yelled at him, and he runs out the house. There's video of it. He ran out the house after that happened because there was a 911 call. Somebody else in the neighborhood called 911, and they had video that corroborated the story. He ran out the house, and then that's when everything went downhill, when the people, the McMichaels and whatnot, when they approached him. That's when the bad thing happened. That's where the thing that was illegal happened. But before that, that's a different story.
Yeah, I know he's talking about because there was a camera in there. I guess coincidence. Who knows?
So I'm saying is like if you just minding your business and you just chilling, you're not really trying to do anything wrong. You just going into a house, just looking around, and somebody says, "Hey, you're not gonna just run out like that." That's not something you do unless you up to no good. Now, understand this. I'm not trying to say that justifies what happened to him because obviously it doesn't because they broke the law. However, you got to tell the full story and be honest. Not just tell what. Not just say what makes us look good or what we think is good for the whole like a movie, a TV story. Tell the full story, all the good and the bad and everything else.
Okay, well in that case, when he quote unquote ran out the house, he didn't run out the house like he did a Derrick Henry 100-yard sprint. He walked and jogged back on the trace. He didn't sprint from a house to another house and tried to get out of the area. That's not how it happened.
Have you seen the video?
Yes. I have to look at it again, but I know he didn't sprint out the house. I know he didn't do that much. If he sprinted out the house and he really tried to dodge somebody, he wouldn't have ran on the wide open street area.
So what video are you referring to that you saw?
What are you talking about?
So you say you saw the video.
When he ran back out. I'm talking about when he ran out. I'm talking about when he ran back out of the house. When he got out of the house, he started jogging. Like you're saying, run like he sprinted and did a 10-yard, a 10-second, 100-yard meter. Like he didn't run like that. Somebody probably said, "Hey, it probably shocked him, or it probably startled him. Who knows?" I don't know. It probably did. It probably did scare him. Even if he didn't try to steal anything, it probably can still scare you. You're in the house. It's an open house, but you hear somebody say, "Hey, hey, what you doing?" You know, he probably said, "Oh, snap!" Like, "Oh, my," like, you know, move on.
Okay, now I got video. You can't see it, but I'm gonna put it on the screen right quick because this is what actually happened. This is me a little while ago. Hold on.
Okay.
Now he comes out and then runs. You can't even see it. It's so fast. He comes out of the house and runs. And the subhead says a figure emerges from the construction home and runs down Satilla Avenue. Runs. He ran on the video. Upper right hand corner, he ran. So it wasn't like he just jogged out. He ran out. He walked up to the house and then ran out once he was confronted. And when he came out in a different way than when he went in. He first went into the garage where it was open, and then he came out the front door of the house. So why would you go a different way? At the end of the day, the whole jogging narrative is false. But it doesn't necessarily matter when it comes to what happened next. All I'm saying is let's give the full and complete story rather than half stories. That's all.
But hold on. Before I let you go, though, he wasn't. All right, let's go with that. Let's say he was going to steal something. How would he steal something? Was he going to steal a 14-foot 2x4 with some shorts on?
I don't know what I don't know.
A saw? Like he had shorts on. What was he going to do? Steal a saw bit drill?
I don't know what he was in there for. I don't know, but at the end of the day, if you just in there chilling and you're not doing anything wrong, then why try to be all sneaky going inside? And then why when somebody say something to you, you run away? That's not very. That's not what you would do if you just in there doing something innocent. But thank you for the call. You've been on for a long time. Appreciate the call, man.
All right, you too.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, that's just what it is. Hold on. Let me go ahead and try to so let me put the rest of that. So here's the video I'm talking about in case you guys couldn't see at the very top. Hold on. So you see at the top, go to the top right-hand corner, and then that's him right there. Because remember, in the first video, he was right by this tree. And then he went into the garage, was wide open because working on the house. But then he came out the front door. Why are you over there? And why are you running away? So ultimately, that's just information to give to the stories, make it complete. But at the end of it, the McMichaels and the other guy were wrong for doing what they did because they didn't follow the law. However, let's not make up lies about what Ahmaud Arbery was doing before. That's all. You know, you can have both be true. You can have the McMichaels did wrong, and you can have Ahmaud Arbery was doing something fishy beforehand. Now, was it a felony? I don't think so. Was it something that he shouldn't have been doing? Probably so. So that's why it's not necessarily relevant when you're talking about the ultimate conviction of the people that did what they did, you see. But I'll get to some more. The number to call is 434-658-1220. 848, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, this is Doug. How you doing, man?
Everything's all right about yourself?
I'm all right, man. I just want to say that I agree with you that both of them were in the wrong. But my contention is that if I were to be in a flight or fight, type of situation, and I see someone blocking one side of the road, and I see a clear exit, like it was on the passenger side, if I'm running at full steam, I'm going to try and run past the truck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but see, also
Like,
let's wait. But also let's not forget there was two trucks or two vehicles, because you had the other neighbor who was filming because he had his vehicle too. Now I'm not sure how his vehicle was in there. But wait, sir. Let me finish and then you can talk.
Yes, sir.
So I'm not really sure how his vehicle was positioned because we don't have that video. All we have is his perspective showing the McMichael's vehicle and how that was. Now, we can say as Monday morning quarterback, you should have done X, Y, and Z, and you're probably right. But in that moment, it's like, what do? You're evading one vehicle and you get around him, it's another vehicle, and you see a gun. So it's like in that moment, you could choose to fight or flight. He probably chose to fight. Or he could have been thinking, if I run away, I might get shot right here because this guy has his shotgun already out, ready to go ahead and get rolling. It wasn't like he just had the shotgun in the truck and he wasn't holding it. He was already kind of like brandishing. So that could have been his thought process. If I don't try to get the gun away from him right now, I'm going to get shot in my back and have no chance. That could have been going on in his mind in a very short period of time.
Well, considering that hitting a moving target is a lot more difficult than a lot of people seeing, even with a shotty, and this is coming from someone who was ex-military. I was in the Army for 3 years, and I drove tanks, and shooting a moving target is not as easy as some people may seem. But granted that you're going to have to, if you're going to shoot someone like a moving target, you're going to have to control your breathing. You're also going to have your sight picture. Now, in order to do that, you're going to have to be well-trained on that. And how well-trained that person was with a shotgun, I don't know. But the one thing that he could have done was like, you know what, I'm going to stop. And the cops come, and they get their side of the story. The cop gets, his side of the story, ends up in court, and we have the result that we have, that the guy was in the wrong. The two guys were in the wrong, and you have the verdict that we have.
Yeah, I mean, that could have happened, but also if they didn't do wrong, then it wouldn't have happened. You see, like if the pursuit was wrong, then it was wrong, because Ahmaud Arbery could have been thinking that this was some kind of kidnapping attempt. This could have been some type of robbery. You don't know what's going on. See what I'm saying? Like in his mind. So ultimately, if the law was followed in the case of the McMichaels and their neighbor, then this wouldn't be happening right now. This wouldn't have been the case. Now, I'm not saying Ahmaud Arbery was an angel before this as far as going into the house, but we don't know what he did in the house. All we know is that they saw him in there and somebody said, hey, and then here come the McMichaels trying to arrest him unlawfully. So that's just really the bottom line.
Like I said, I agree with you on that. I mean, like, I don't disagree with what the jury, came up with, based upon, all the information and the video and all that. It's just like my contention is like what you said previously in another video, that if it wasn't based upon race, there wouldn't be any kind of a deal. Because if you look at something like Jessica Covington, or even Crystal Kaiser, who killed her captor. I think she was being pimped out by a pedophile, I believe. Her case, that was clear self-defense, but it was black on black, and there was hardly any media attention unlike this. And I'm pretty sure you would agree that, regardless of what the race is that the law should be followed, whatever the case is. If you're found guilty you can try to appeal it, but, it is what it is.
Right
You
on.
have the right to defend yourself.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Sure.
All right, let's get to a few more here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Let's go to 806 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Stephen Greenway.
All righty, what's going on?
Is this ABL?
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow. It's so good to hear your voice live. Yeah, I'm just sitting there watching the show and enjoying. I always enjoy listening to you. I'm really a fan of black conservatives because y'all have an insight into what's going on that I'm a white guy, so I have my perspective on life and you have yours, and we're both just average Americans living our lives. And I see from the outside, and you see from a bit of the inside, coming from the world of all that blacks put up with in this country. And it's really sad. I see it. I have friends, I have family that are black, and I see their pain. I don't know it, but I see it. And it worries me that the majority of Americans don't understand where things have gone wrong and how to get them back into us all living together in a society where we all appreciate each other and ignore the color of your skin, because that doesn't matter in reality to any means of life. But what I called about was I'm shocked that the majority of black Americans don't seem to pay attention to the fact that the Democratic Party really, it looks like and appears to me, so like I said, sitting on the outside, that they literally hate the black people. And I'm just shocked that more blacks don't, or black Americans don't realize that. And I feel like if the majority of Americans figure this out, that there's going to be a lot of rioting towards the Democrats. But I don't know if, and I hate to say y'all as opposed to us, we're all together, but I think you know what I mean by that. That there's just so much that blacks are deceived by the Democrats, and they just don't either see it or want to see it. I don't understand what's going on.
Well, here's what's going on. A lot of people in the so-called black community don't even vote. We're not even really politically aware. It's like it's a lot of ignorance going on. And when you do vote, you don't really vote based on people's policy positions. All you do is vote on like social norms. So they say, okay, the Democratic Party, they're the good ones. They're not racist and all this and that. That's why they vote for the Democratic Party. So that's just, it's kind of a traditional thing that's been going on for not forever, probably about 50 years, maybe 40, 50 years. And it's just ignorance, really. And I blame a lot of that on education, people not being educated properly, whether it be from their parents or from K through 12, college or whatever, lack of education, lack of awareness. It's not even that, it's not that people vote for the Democratic Party intentionally. It's just they don't vote for their policies. They vote for just the name and for the idea that they think they represent rather than reality. So that's kind of what's going on.
I see. Yeah. I didn't realize that there was so many that didn't vote. I do understand the sadness of the education system. The big cities are run by Democrats. Big cities have a lot of population of the black community, and I see they're left in the dark. And it's really sad that, and I do understand that the Republican Party has not stepped up and fixed that, or they should have seen it. They probably did, of course.
It's not
and
their
they could
fault.
have done more to help, but go ahead.
It's not their fault, really. The Republican Party, it's not their fault. It's just the stranglehold the Democrats have. It's like you try to be a Republican to go on these places, and you're not really going to have a chance because there's a deep ingrained culture that's there. So that's less about the Republican Party and more about the black community's culture and identification of themselves. It's not even about what external forces can do. it's an internal thing we got to do with on our own. And then once we get right internally, then we can reach out to the political parties and have them do some things. But really, it's an internal battle that we're fighting.
I see. Well, that makes a lot of sense. And it's, I pray every day this country comes together. I see so much division, especially right now, and it's really scary. And, I try to live a good life. I don't judge my next door neighbors, whether they're gay, straight, black, white, male, female. I don't care, just as long as you treat me and my family with respect, and I should be doing the same to you, and we can all get along. That's the biggest thing, is just being neighbors.
That's right. Right on.
I've got one other quick point to make, or question to ask, if I guess is the right way to state this. During the Kyle Rittenhouse videos, as he's running away after he shot Rosenbaum, he's running down the street. He's hit in the head. His hat is knocked off. He's knocked to the ground. You kind of don't see it. But then you see a tall, slender man running at him and goes to kick him or jump on him and land on his head with his foot. When that gentleman rolls to the ground and gets back up, one of the videos I watched shows from the side that man coming straight for the camera and then running off. It looks like, and I'm not trying to make any racial considerations, but it looks like that was a black man.
He was, yeah.
My point is, I wonder if, or why, if that was a black man, why nobody, not in the trial, not in any, I watched you and Brandon Tatum, Jericho Green, Candace Owens, and I don't see anybody mentioning, or anything on Fox News, Tucker, or anybody mentioning that actually, if that is right, that he was a black man, that a black man attacked Kyle Rittenhouse. He didn't get shot. He just ran away. And so I wonder why nobody has brought that point. They talk, all this was about racism and white supremacy, and then everybody's bringing out the point that the black people weren't involved. It was 3 white men who got shot by a white man.
Yeah,
but
I got to answer. I have to answer your question because I got limited time. But the reason why he didn't get brought up is because it's not even about, this case was not about reality. This case was about an idea of Kyle Rittenhouse being somehow a white supremacist, and also about gun control. The case was spun into a narrative that did not exist for political purposes. So they're not going to worry about a black guy that didn't get shot, because they're not trying to disprove Kyle Rittenhouse being a white supremacist. They're trying to prove that he's a white supremacist. They're trying to prove that the guns are dangerous, not anything else. It's not about reality. But thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Love you, ABL. Keep it up, man. Thank you. See you later.
Yeah, that's a good point he made about, the black guy that didn't get shot, who, the jump kick man. God was on the side that night, I suppose. Not the other guys that got shot. But they're not going to mention that because it's not even really relevant to the point they're trying to prove, which is that Kyle Rittenhouse is a bad guy. And the guns are bad and you can't defend yourself and all this and that. That's all that it was. The media have their own narrative, and that's what they want to try to push. 512, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Thank you. See you later.
512, hello.
Yeah, that's a good point he made about.
Hello.
Yes, turn speakers down, please, in the background. Line? Yes, it is. Turn speakers down, please, in the background.
Yep, I've just switched it off.
All righty. What's going on?
No, hey, ABL, a long-time watcher. Really glad to be able to get through. No, I just wanted to make so I've lived in the US for 24 years now, moved over from the UK. And in the recent years, I've been really concerned, actually, that the US is becoming the UK. And, there was something that happened in 1776 that we didn't want that to happen. I'm an American citizen now, by the way. I'm a gun guy. But yeah, it just seems to be going really bad over here right now, and I think you'll agree with the politics and everything. And they tried to make the Carl Rittenhouse trial a racist thing when it was a white guy, shooting 3 white guys. That he actually that he actually shot in self-defense. And I just thought that was completely outrageous. But what surprised me, I was going to say, or didn't really surprise me, was so I lived in Illinois for 20 years, and I worked in Wisconsin, where open carry is legal, by the way, in Wisconsin. So just the whole thing was completely outrageous. What actually got me, I called up to talk about the Waukesha Christmas Parade attack, and how the press is actually reporting that. They're not reporting it as black man kills 5 white people. They're reporting it as this guy ran into them, and they're trying to completely keep race out of this because it doesn't meet their agenda, does it? It doesn't meet the narrative that they're trying to spin.
That's 100% correct. Absolutely. And they're also trying to do things like say it was an accident. I think NBC News said that. It's like, how was it an accident if it was intentional? He's being charged with intentional crimes, not just, oh, it was an accident. He fell asleep at the wheel. No, this was very intentional. He tried to hide, tried to run away, it was, but see, again, like you said, it does not fit the narrative. And these cases, as I just said in the previous call, they're not about reality. They're all about just trying to fit a particular story the media are trying to get across to the general public. They're trying to brainwash people. So then when they go out there and talk to their family and friends, like for Thanksgiving, they'll say things that they have heard on television, like parrots. They'll repeat whatever they are being told.
Yes, I completely agree. So, Anthony, I know you've got a lot of callers waiting, so I thank you very much for taking my call. And I think you've got a great channel here, and God bless and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All righty, Les, what's happening?
Hey, BL, how are you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself? Uh-oh, you froze up. I can't hear you. So you got to get on your other device there. Sorry, Les. Right away you froze up. It just... Okay, let's get to some more here. We'll try to get her back on the line. 540, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, ABL.
Yes.
Well, let's see. I'm nervous. Let me calm down. What I was calling about, we've had a lot of different calls, but most of the calls have been from white people, and they're talking about white supremacy. But if most are like me, I love your show. I watch it every Wednesday night, Saturday night. I watch all your videos because I think you are just absolutely great. So to me, and the rest of the people that love you, we are not white supremacists because you're the bomb.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, well, I just wanted to let you know, and have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you for that. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Appreciate you.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, great call. You know, I enjoy the positive calls, 100%. And you guys have a happy Thanksgiving. Don't be too don't eat too much. I know it's going to be kind of tempting if you got a nice little spread. You know, go easy on yourself. You don't want to get in no food coma. All right, let's go to some more here. Let's go to. All right, Les, are you there? Okay, we're trying to get you on here. It's a connection. It says it's a poor connection. I'm sorry. Let's go to 504. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? $504. Hello. 504. Hello.
Uncle Tom.
All right. Go back to your basement, please, sir. 276 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Hello.
This ABL?
Yes, it is. Turn your stream down in the background for me, please.
I always listen to your show. I live in Tennessee. It's great to have you. I just had an experience in the beginning of 2020 when the Arbery shooting happened, and I have a tendency to look back at things. And in 2017, The Guardian put up a story and a video about an event with Arbery in the same little area at the park where the police tried to tase him. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He was jogging. It was his day off. So I put a link in your video chat to that, but it's still online. When this happened, I was home recovering from surgery, and I think it was Steve Molyneux that went on live. And his take was obviously Arbery was guilty, and it was right after it happened. But a lady who was a neighbor of Larry English called in to Molyneux Live, and she said that she could see that her property was near to that Larry English, to where the construction site was, and she hadn't seen him in a couple days, and she asked Arbery to go check on him. And I don't know where that lady is, why she never was a witness, why her statement never came out, or why I never heard from her again. But I heard her live on Steve Molyneux the day after this happened. And so I just wanted to share that because there's so many times these witnesses like jump kick man, you never see them. And there was a history in this little town because the guy, Greg McMichael, had been the sheriff. And he had been the sheriff at the time when this video, it's already got almost 1 million views on it, of him almost being tased when he hadn't done anything. He was just jogging and chilling out on his day off. And that lady said also that Arbery did some errands for her. She gave him a couple bucks or some food or whatever. Anyway, she chatted with him. She asked him to go check on that vet because he was her neighbor and she hadn't seen him in a couple days. And it just plagues on my heart that I've never heard anything more about that. So I want to share it with you because I think your show is awesome.
Well, thank you for that. I definitely appreciate you for your call.
All right. Then you have a great Thanksgiving.
Same to you now.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, those are really good points. I've not heard about those. I've not heard about, people that had said things on his behalf. And that's a good question. Why didn't they testify? Were they not allowed, or what happened with that? Very good questions. Very, very good points that were brought up there. Let's go to some more here. 503 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill. Eric.
All righty. What's going on?
Nothing much. Just wanted to thank you for all you do, and also just wanted to bring up to the group that we're dealing with a spiritual problem, not a political problem.
Right. Yeah.
And so just to elaborate on that a little bit, we pushed God out of this country back in the early 60s, and we've been on a downward spiral ever since.
Yeah, I would say that. And then also, you have the welfare state that came in at the same time. That's been really big because the father, there's no need for no dads anymore because you can have the federal government become the father. And with no actual father in the household, you have a lot of societal things start to collapse. A lot of poverty, a lot of crime, a lot of just other things that we shouldn't be having in society like America, the best country on planet Earth. So as long as that's there, and as long as you couple them with the godlessness, lack of religion, and also the welfare state, the dad being replaced, it's a terrible combination. So that's a good point you make.
Yeah. What's your thoughts though on our ability to pull ourselves as a nation out of this mess?
Well, it can be. So what now?
No, go ahead.
Now, it can be done. It definitely can be done. I think the main thing here is that we have to stop incentivizing some of this nonsense. Of course, I always say if I could be a king and I could just rule by fiat, I can wave a magic wand and say it is done. I would say get rid of the welfare state. And what's happening right now is unfortunately the opposite of getting rid of the welfare state. They want to expand it. That'll make things worse because that destroys drive, it destroys families, it destroys everything. And then I think once you have to have more if you have more reliance upon each other, that'll create more unified bonds. You can, incentivize religiosity by having connection on tighter bonds between families, more religious freedom, more focus on like religious schools, Catholic and Christian and stuff like that, rather than the public school system. Once you do things like that, you'll be able to kind of get things going in the right direction. But until we do those specific things, I think we're going to continue to go down this hole.
Right. Well, I don't know if you've read the Bible as much. I'm actually still in my infancy in my Christianity, but I'm reading the Bible more and more and trying to understand the world that we live in. And but we see this with the early Jews, that they had this kind of ebb and flow of love for God, and then when things got really good, they kind of didn't need God anymore. And then all of a sudden, they realized everything's turning to crap again, and this is over years and years too. And then all of a sudden, they cry out to God and say, "Help us!" And so God, loving humanity, goes ahead and says, "All right, you're crying out to me. I'll bring you back." And then we do this again. We ride the wave, and then we drop down again. We turn into godless people, and try to do our own thing. And so I kind of feel like the West right now is on the lower part right now of the godlessness, where God's kind of like, okay, do your thing again. I'm going to let you get conquered, which we're looking at that right now.
Yeah,
there is a possibility.
Yeah, I think what'll happen is ultimately there will be some kind of, once we get so low in society, you can only go up. Once things become so bad and there's so much of an outcry, you got to go back up. I think that's what's going to happen. And the way things are right now, people they're kind of comfortable with the Netflix and with the Starbucks and all this free monopoly money floating around and whatnot. But then once that starts to kind of go away, once that becomes something that can't really sustain you, then we go a different direction. I believe so. Mm-hmm. So I think you're right. We're kind of at the bottom of it or getting close to the bottom. But it's like being on drugs. If you know anybody that's battled addiction, they're not going to want to seek help for themselves. They won't improve until they hit that rock bottom, when they know they can't go anywhere else other than to die.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what sucks, is that there's a lot of people that aren't going to learn from this. But society as a whole, I think this is how it's almost like God's design is how do you pull people back to God, but let them suffer a little bit. And I think we as humanity are facing that right now, and we're doing it at a global level now. It's not just nations. It's when one nation falls, because we're so interconnected, the whole, the entire planet now has to eat the same turd sandwich, Yeah,
right.
So
that's right. Exactly.
So, but I look at this as kind of like it's all part of God's plan to try to reel people back into Him, because we are seeing Luciferian doctrines, that are rising to the surface, but it's turning people's, it's making people nauseous. It's people are realizing progressivism doesn't work. They're starting to looking at society a different way. They're looking upwards, and I think this is a good thing. It's just a lot of us have to suffer, especially the ones that like yourself and myself and a lot of probably most of your audience realizes this. God gave us eyes to see, ears to hear. We got to do a little bit better job though of pulling other people into the fold. But nonetheless, we got the eyes to see, the ears to hear. This stuff nauseates us, but it's part of God's plan, I think, to bring a lot of the people that are mesmerized by whatever the heck's going on here. The bread and circus, all this other garbage that we're being fed. It's snapping people out of it hardcore, and I'm looking forward to that. That mass awakening that is back to God.
Right, right on, man. Well, thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, you betcha. Love you. Take care.
All right, shout out to the call. Very, very good call. Let's get to some more here. All righty, Les, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All righty, we got you.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. I went from the computer to the iPad. Now I'm on my actual phone. So sorry. I apologize.
Oh, it's all good.
How are you doing, though?
I'm well. Can't complain about yourself.
Good, good. I have everybody here. The kids were all like, "Oh my god!" After all the waiting, and they go down like, "Yeah, it happens." What do you say, ABL? Blame the white man.
Blame the white man. There you go.
I just wanted to touch on two quick things. One was with Kyle. I'm actually very happy that he was found not guilty. It was it was a very high politicized case, which it should have never been to begin with. But I mean, it is what it is, and I'm happy he's free. And I know he's, like you said, he's going to go off and do great things as well. And I'm happy for him.
Hey guys.
Hey guys. And the last one, I know we were talking a lot about these, like the smash and grabs, because that's how I know them to be out here in Illinois. There was actually one just last week. It was out here. It was like 20 minutes away from me, Oak Brook, Illinois. And yep, it was like 14 people. They raided the Louis Vuitton store and they grabbed, it says right here from NBC News, about $120,000 in merchandise. So I guess we'll see how it goes, with finding and prosecuting and all that good stuff, because I don't know, with Illinois, it's kind of funny, all this stuff too.
Right, because they don't want to be so mean to people in poverty, all this and that, when in reality, you're talking about organized crime.
Right, correct. And one last thing I actually wanted to mention, I gotta brag a little bit about it though. So my daughter, she's really, I don't really go too much in detail with her, but this is a great example as to why people, especially if you have kids, you should, teach them your conservative values at a young age. But general aspect of it, she had to write this like little essay in regards to if she agreed to a book called, what was the book?
Back to Normal.
Back to Normal, and the kids basically had to either agree or disagree. It was all about the whole COVID thing, and she basically said it in 3 points. One, I disagree with all this because one, what did you say?
I said because. Why should I fear?
She's first one. She was like, why should we be scared and be careful if kids were already proven to be like we're at lower at risk.
Exactly.
Two, she was like, I believe in God, so why should I fear? And she's like, and three, why should we take precautions if you believe in God? There's no such things as precautions because you're scared, and if that's the case, then you're a hypocrite. So. These are the kind of kids that we should be raising, especially if they're out there in the school system.
Right on. Exactly. That's what we got to do.
Yeah. And then just one last thing, ABL. I want to wish you, your family, and all your viewers a happy Thanksgiving. You guys take care, and God bless you. We'll let you go already. Have a good one.
Bye, ABL.
All right. Bye, y'all. Y'all be good. Happy Thanksgiving.
Good night. Have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to Les and the youngins. Hey. It fills my heart with joy when the young people watch the show, because I know they're on the right path. I know they're on the right path and they're going to grow up right. They're not going to be these BLM people out there sacrificing their life on the road, talking about some no justice, no peace, while the people that run BLM can get a real estate portfolio of $3.4 million off their back. So shout out to Les and the youngins, teaching them right at an early age, 100%. All righty. Let's go to some more here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. 678, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 678, hello.
Hello.
Yes, who am I speaking to?
This is Shonda.
All righty. Turn
I'm
your stream.
from Georgia.
Okay, hold on one second. Turn your stream down in the background for me, please.
Yes. I sure will.
All righty. All righty. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So what's going on?
No, hey, ABL.
Yes.
No, yes. I just wanted to call in. It's good to talk to you. I just wanted to call in and talk about a few things and piggyback off the previous two callers.
Okay.
And I just want to say that we have to definitely put the Lord in everything that we do. nowadays. We should have done it a long time ago. And I think that the Lord is waking us up to show us that we can depend on nobody but Him. I don't call in a lot, but I just felt led to call in because so much is going on. But I just wanted to let you know that we definitely need to put the Lord first and foremost, because we can only trust in Him. We can't trust in anything else. I lost my son to a car accident last year in June, and it woke me up to a lot of things because I used to tell him about the Lord all the time, and I found a Bible when he passed away. Me and his twin sister found the Bible in his room, and when I opened that Bible, he had wrote on the inside where he dedicated his life to Christ. So when I thought he wasn't listening to me, he really was listening to me. He was 26 years old when I lost him. And, you know, from being forth, I've been humble, and I've humbled myself to just depend on the Lord and not worry about the things that are going on in this world. Because if you put your trust in this world is not going to last forever. But if you put your trust in the Lord, then you're guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to share that. I didn't want to hold you.
Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one.
Same to you now. Very good call. Shout out to everybody calling in. You guys have been great so far tonight. If you like what you're hearing so far, give the video a thumbs up. If you're listening to me on your favorite audio streaming platform, please give me a 5-star rating or review, whatever you can. I most certainly appreciate you. And if you don't know, this show will be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Spotify, Google Play, Apple iTunes, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. Link for that will be in the description box, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I shall pop right on up. Let's get to a few more. 708, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, ABL?
Yes.
Shut this down for just a second because I can't hear you. Love your show. I'm an older white woman, and I was wondering if you had a viewpoint on, or if you have any knowledge of any studies or commentary on the effects this current environment has on the large generation of mixed kids out there who stand right on the line between the black and white divide. I mean, the rhetoric is so horrid and so prolific. And I have a family that's half black, so I have young people being targeted with this rhetoric who are black, but they are half white as well.
That's a really good question. I think it just depends on where they live and what kind of people they're around. Like, I'm in Tennessee. I have two mixed nieces, and my oldest niece, she just like doing TikTok dances. She's not really worried about no political stuff. It's not really anything affecting her. So, but maybe if you live in a place like San Francisco, it might be a little bit different, or New York City or somewhere like that, where a lot of the adults, because I think a lot of this stuff comes from the adults. A lot of the negative rhetoric and political stuff comes from the adults in the room. So I think that's where it'd probably be a problem. And I think the race issue is less of a concern and more, I'm talking about kids at least, their issue is probably more about virus restrictions and LGBTQ LMNOP teachers and trans teachers and stuff like that. That's probably a bigger issue than the race thing. So as far as mixed kids, it really depends on where they live and the adults that are around them, because as far as my nieces, they're biracial. It's not really a problem with them.
Yeah, I don't think my granddaughters have a problem with being mixed, but because one is in her 20s, she's that population that's being so affected by all the crap, all the lies, you know, but she's at that age, so she wants to believe it, and then she has a little sister. So as the white grandma, you know, I'm like, oh, I don't even know what to tell her, you know.
Yeah. It could be.
If
It could be.
like grandma, she wouldn't be here, you know.
I hear you. I understand.
No. Anyway, I was just wondering what your viewpoints were. Thank you so much. I do love your show.
Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
All right. Bye-bye, ABL.
All right. Shout out to grandma, you know, caring about the grandkids. Of course, you're going to care about your grandkids. You know, I understand. I really do. But I think really it's about the adults. because the kids don't necessarily care that much about it unless they're being told by adults. That's really what I see. But it could be different depending upon where you live. All right. So let's get to some more here. Let's go to 208. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, ABL. My name is Terry. I'm calling you from Boise, Idaho. The lady that called about Arbery and the jogging in the park and dazing, she's wrong. If you go look at the video, which I did, you get a true feel of what this kid was like. Now, I agree he was murdered. But if you watch this video, and the cop has stopped him and stuff, but you're going to see this really smart kid getting in your face. So I think you should, in my opinion, go look at it and just see. I'm sure the viewers would love to see it too.
Well, I'll check it out to see what's going on because I've not seen it. So I'm taking you guys' word for it that it's out there. I guess I got to see it for myself to, give my 2 cents on it, as I say.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's out there. It says Arbery almost tased 2017. And it's him sitting in the car in a park or in the middle of a park. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you now. Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Yeah, bye.
Okay. Well, hey, everybody has their viewpoint on what's going on. And I like the different viewpoints. It's good. That's fantastic. All right, let's do some more here. Let's go to 215 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, how's it going?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Everything's good. So basically, what was I about to ask? Oh yeah, about Kyle Rittenhouse. I mean, I saw the video. I saw it all from last year. The whole video from him defending himself, and he was going out there to help the community. Now, here's my thing. See, this is why they shouldn't. See, this is my thing. This is why you don't let people go out and riot and tell the police to stand down. Because what happens is people watch this, they see it, and you're going to have those. And that's what brings. I mean, I'm not saying vigilante is right, but I mean, what they shouldn't allow those people to riot. Because if you allow them and tell the police to stand down and just let them do whatever, eventually people are going to rise up and take matters into their own hands. That's just how it's going to be.
I didn't catch the last part. Say that one more time for me.
Wait, you can hear me clearly, correct?
I heard you, but I'm sorry. Please repeat yourself.
Oh, my fault. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure I don't talk too fast. Okay, so basically what I was saying is this is why they shouldn't let people go out and riot and just do whatever they want and tell people to stand down.
Yeah.
Because stuff like this is going to happen. Like, you're going to have people who are going to take matters into their own hands because if the cops aren't going to do nothing, then the regular citizens, they're going to take matters into their own hands and protect their own communities. And saying Kyle Rittenhouse, oh, well, he wasn't from that community. He crossed state lines. Okay, well, half of the people that was rioting, half of them weren't from that community. So there they go again.
I think
set the precedent.
Now I think as far as Cal, we got to be careful about, the taking it to their own hands thing. I see what you're saying though, but what I would say is we can't just let people riot because we shouldn't let people riot. We shouldn't allow those things to happen because there are bad things that come about, whether it be somebody gets killed, injured, things get burnt down, you destroy infrastructure. It's just a negative thing. Just like when they said that in Washington, D.C., I think it was the current and or former mayor talking about we gave them space to destroy. Stuff like that can't happen. You can't just allow people to destroy a place. Regardless of how it turns out, it's always going to be bad.
Exactly. And yeah, because basically, because watching all that stuff, everything go down and knowing at least the one guy was a child predator, and he was one of the first people to get shot of. And another thing I heard about, but I'm gonna look into this. Did you ever hear about this? One of the guys that was trying to attack Kyle Rittenhouse that got shot, he had an ankle monitor on, and he wasn't supposed to be outside at all. So basically, what had happened was somehow he managed to break off the ankle monitor and escape. and he went outside to join the riots. So basically, he wasn't even supposed to be outside at all.
So they try to attack Kyle Rittenhouse for being out there. He shouldn't have been out there. He's 17. It was a curfew. Meanwhile, everyone was under a curfew, but everybody was still out there. And one guy was not only out there during the curfew, he broke an ankle monitor to be out there during the curfew. So he was double wrong. But that seems to not really get brought up when they're talking about Kyle Rittenhouse. It's interesting.
Exactly. A lot of that doesn't get brought up. And the other guy, and remember the black tall guy that kicked him in the face? Come to find out, he's in jail yet again. Did you hear about that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he's back in jail because he's another criminal. I think it might be his. He's been arrested more than a few times, I would say. But I said right after that incident, not too long ago, he got arrested again, just being a troublemaker as usual. So,
wow, amazing.
But I mean that doesn't surprise me. And most of the people that are out there were all troublemakers. The ones who were out there rioting were majority criminals. They're just troublemakers, all kinds of people. And another thing I wanted to touch on, but I don't want to take up too much time, is that most people. I remember one of your callers had called in one time and says, if people don't like what's going on, they need to go out and do something about it. And he said, why don't everybody just run for office or join a police department and help fight your community, or get into politics instead of sitting around and complaining? I'm like, well, that may be the case, but everybody's not cut out for everything. So people do what they do their best. Everybody can do what they do best, like voting, doing research, and just spreading the information, kind of like what you're doing. You're helping the cause. So everybody helps in their own way, does their own thing. But I do kind of get on some of the points he was saying, though.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that.
Yeah,
like what you're saying is correct. Everybody can't do everything, but people can do whatever they can do. I mean, even if it's just talking to a friend or a neighbor or something, everybody can do something, but they don't have to do everything. They don't have to be the cure or the solution to all the world's problems. And
plus, like they said, if you want to make change, you got to change yourself. Change has to start with you first. It has to start with the individual. Then you just once you become the change that you want everybody else to be, then everybody else will follow suit.
Right on, man.
Yep. And one more thing, I decided to call down to a police station and do a ride along. Mind you, I'm near Philadelphia. I'm like an hour away from Philly, so I'm gonna see if they'll give me a bulletproof vest.
Oh, yeah, you might need a bulletproof vest and a Kevlar helmet and some more stuff, man. Be safe out there in Philly. Good grief. You're talking about Iraq. Not good night.
Yes, big time. Yeah. Well, thanks for taking my call, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, man. Them ride-alongs in Philly, man. Be careful. Be careful, please. Protect your neck. All right. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling. Let's go to 559. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. How's it going?
It's all good. About yourself?
Good, man. Hey, just calling from California, and real quick, I just wanted to comment on Nancy Pelosi moving to Florida. I wonder if it has anything to do with the audit they did back in 2019 when Betty Yee, the state controller, went in front of a judge at the circuit court. I believe it was the Congressional District Court, Ninth Circuit, and said that they basically just could not locate anything when there was $500 million missing on the books for their revenue and state budget. So I'm just kind of thinking, well, all 49 states immediately brought forward their books, and it was like, clear as day. But California is basically like a black pit, as far as spending and money and everything else goes. And so maybe this is something that she's trying to get away from as far as like any sort of legal or litigation or prosecution or anything like that. I mean, who knows? But it's just kind of interesting that there's the audit, I believe, is still going on. As far as newsbreak.com, they just posted an article about it 13 hours ago. And so maybe that could be something to do with it. I just thought it was a pretty interesting coincidence. Anyway, thanks a lot, ABL. Appreciate your time. Love the show, and take care.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it. Man, that's a good observation. But the $500 million, I mean, that's nothing, right? Didn't Bill de Blasio's wife lose like $900 million, almost $1 billion? Like lost it. Don't even know where it is. It's just like losing a pair of tennis shoes or a fleece jacket. I don't know where it went, man. My dog ate it. I mean, government can do well. They can do good things when it's run efficiently and when it's not big, when it's very small in the background. You don't even really notice it's there. But when they get big and bloated and corrupt, bad things happen all the time. And there's no accountability. There's only accountability when they want it to be accountability, because they're the ones looking into themselves. 562, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bill. Bald Brad, how you doing?
I'm well. About yourself?
I'm doing all right. I've called in your show before. I talked with you about education in the glorious state of California.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about all the looting that's going on here all across the state with these lovely leftist policies like Prop 47, because it's doing amazing things for us over here.
Yeah, it's really crazy. I mean, that smash and grab, what was like 80 people looted that Nordstrom within like 1 minute, 25 cars. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's going from, these people just run into a CVS. You had the Walgreens, and Walgreens just recently last month said they're going to close down 5 stores. And then you had these politicians going, oh, well, we don't fully believe that it's going to be because of the looting, even though a Walgreens spokesperson said, hey, we're having to hire private security. And if we're not hiring private security, we're having to hire San Francisco Police Department to work overtime, and we can't afford it. And so they're going, oh, well, we're just going to close down the stores. And then these politicians go, oh, well, it's not really them hiring and the investment that they're having to put in security. It's them closing 200 stores down all across the United States because they're losing $1.7 billion because of COVID-19. That's the real reason. But it's like these politicians on the left side, they get elected here, and it's so frustrating as a conservative that they just ignore everything that these people are telling them, and they just keep enacting this stuff, and now we're having to deal with it. It's nuts, man. It's nuts.
Yeah, it really is. And they're like you say, they're kind of like ignoring it, behaving it's not really there, or it's not really the real reason. And at a certain point, it's like, what's the actual reason? They say they don't want to oppress poor people, all this and that. But what's the real reason why they would just ignore this retail theft and allow these places to close down because they cannot afford to stay in business when they're constantly being stolen from without any kind of penalty?
It's crazy. And they're always attributing it, and I know we talked about this last time a little bit, but they're always attributing it to some sort of racism, and now you can't even call it looting anymore. You have to call it robbery, or you can't call it theft, because I forget where I read this. I talked about it today, but they're attributing this to some sort of a racist connotation is what they said, and that if you apply that to a certain race, and then you'd be deemed racist or something like that. When it's like, can't we just say whoever is doing the looting is a scumbag, regardless of race? I don't know why the amount of melanin in your skin has anything to do with you having an individualized act of going into a store and looting the place. But the left consistently throw race into this stuff, and it's nuts. It's freaking nuts.
It is. It really is.
And it makes you wonder. I mean, I don't know if I'm sure maybe you've heard of Thomas Sowell, but it's like you want to just go and buy them the book, Discrimination Disparities, and read the thing so maybe somebody could throw logic in their face. And I live here, man. I don't know how much longer I could do it.
I mean, you might need to escape, man, because it's not sounding very good. It's like it's Titanic right now. I mean, it may be beautiful on the upper deck, but hey, man, the iceberg is there, man. It's going to impact the hull real soon.
Well, I mean, and they, like I said, I'm probably not allowed to cuss, but you got Nancy Pelosi and these other people that are elected, and you have the same leftists that continue to elect the same people, and it's like people don't want to, crap and sleep in the same bed, which is why you had that previous caller saying, hey, she's probably going to Florida because Ron DeSantis has run the show the way it should be ran, and they just can't figure it out, and they're sitting there scratching their head, and soon enough they're going to scratch enough they're going to be bald. But it's nuts here, man. And something I don't know if anybody's aware about. of this, but I mean, California, you got people literally defecating on the street. There's syringes everywhere. They're throwing razor blades in the playground, so the kids are picking them up. And it's so bad that literally somebody created an app for your phone that you can track the feces around the state of California. It's that bad.
That's terrible. I mean, I couldn't live in a place like that. That's just not suitable for human beings to be in a place like that, in my opinion.
I agree, man. I got a 5-year plan, and then I'm out of here. Buy a house in Texas, Florida, Tennessee. I think you're in Virginia, right?
Tennessee, actually.
Oh, did you move? Have you always been in Virginia or Tennessee?
I moved a few years ago, but I've been here for a while.
All right, well, you did it right, man. How do you like it? I mean, any good areas?
Well, I'm in Chattanooga. It's a great area here. It's close to Atlanta. It's like I could be in Marietta in 90 minutes, so I like the proximity to Atlanta. Nashville is about 2 hours away. I love it, actually. It's great. Low cost of living. It's getting kind of heavy with the traffic because everybody wants to move here because they're seeing their states failing, but it's great overall. I love it. No state tax also.
So, I used to be a tax accountant. That's one of the main reasons to get to Florida or Tennessee. But I mean, you're telling me gas prices aren't $8 there?
No $8 gas prices. Like 2 and change. I've not seen 3 in a while, so no $8 gas.
Did you just say 2 and change?
Yes.
I don't think I've seen that here in California for 10 years. All right. Well, ABL, hey, I appreciate it, man. And if I could just give a shout out to my YouTube channel. If not, then I'm not going to do it.
Go ahead. Go for it.
It's called Bald Brad. I am bald. I got a beard, but I'm doing the same thing you are, man. I'm trying to get the voice of conservative thought out there and ideas. But I appreciate you, man. Everything you do, watching you on Officer Tatum and stuff like that, man. I really do look up to you.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, buddy. God bless. Take care.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Shout out to Bald Brad. Y'all follow him on the YouTubes for sure. But yeah, Tennessee is lit. I'm telling you, like, it's the place. You know, I like Arizona too. Of course, I'll be in Arizona. I can't wait. I'll be leaving Monday. I'll be coming back later on that week. But we have an event for Brandon Tatum on that Tuesday in Gilbert, Arizona, which is like right there in Phoenix, for his book release. It's going to be lit. A lot of us are going to be there. I think Jericho Green, Craig Long, Megan, Glover, she going to be there. Pardon me, Megan Mick Glover, pardon me. There's going to be quite a few of us there at the event. It's going to be good. So you guys go to my Instagram page, instagram.com/Anthony B. Logan if you want tickets. We still have some available. But we will be out there in Gilbert, Arizona next Tuesday. What's that, November 30th? Yes, November 30th. All right. So, yeah. Matter of fact, how much is gas right here? Let me look it up, right? Let me just look it up for my particular area. You got gas for $2.82 in Fort O, $2.84 in Sam's Club on Lee Highway. Yeah, $2.84, $2.85. That's about normal. Like right where I am, it's about $2.85 for regular 87. Yep. $3 is like, if I see $3, I'm mad. You guys paying $6. Why? Why? It's the same gas. Why are you paying double? It's dumb. All right, let's go to some more here. Let's go to, y'all hang tight, please. 416, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
It's a Cigar Box, man. How are you?
Everything's all right. About yourself?
Everything's just wonderful. I was just looking at that trial today, and I was thinking, if you apply the same logic that the left is, then those 3 guys should have the right to have chased Ahmaud Arbery, and he shouldn't have been able to do anything, and they should have been able to do anything they wanted to him. You follow me?
I see where you're going.
If they're doing what the left is complaining about with Rittenhouse.
That's right. Exactly.
But like those guys with Ahmaud Arbery, I mean, they should have been on trial for stupidity, really.
Yeah, I mean, it was silly because just like Joe Davis earlier, he called in and was talking about how they were on the phone with the police, and the dispatcher or whoever told them, hey, don't try to arrest. Like the person was giving them instructions. They just didn't follow the instructions, did whatever they wanted to do. It was just a cacophony of errors that just ended, unfortunately, in tragedy.
Oh, God, yeah. So I figured out that the real reason that the left is all PO'd about the Rittenhouse verdict was because now they've got this fear that they can't go out there burning and looting and tearing cities down and beating the crap out of people, because people have realized that, hey, I can protect myself Kyle style.
Well, right.
You know, and that's really not in the left's program. It's like now they're going to be scared.
Right, exactly. They don't want that. They want people to be defenseless, and they want the easy victims. That's why they go out to places when they want to riot and loot. They don't go to some of the more suburb places because they know at the downtown and shopping district they're able to get easy loots. Now you come across those them hills and whatnot up in the mountains, it's not going to be so simple just to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, right. So that other guy just was talking about looting was not being able to be used because it's a racist term. I heard that too, and I thought the person who said that you cannot use it because it is a racist term should be confronted as a racist, because when I heard looting, I just saw all kinds of weirdos going out and looting.
Yeah, it's like
everybody.
The question is, why would that even be a thing that someone would hear as racist? I mean, the person, like you said, the person who says that must view people that steal as black or non-white. So there's racism right there.
Yeah. They don't realize it, but they're always whipping racism out when they accuse everybody else of it.
Right. Exactly.
So anyhow, we already had our Thanksgiving up here a while back in Canada, and I want to wish you a really good one and everybody else out there. And thanks for taking my call. I'll talk to you later, Anthony.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Bye, man.
All right, great call. But yeah, the whole thing about smash and grabs shouldn't be called looting. The dumbest thing in the world. It's like, why? Hold on. I'm going to try to find the reason. Lorenzo Boyd, professor at criminal justice and community policing at the University of New Haven, was at Connecticut, and Martin Reynolds, co-executive director at the Robert C. Maynard Institute of Journalism Education, said the depiction of large-scale thefts and brazen burglaries at luxury retailers should not be labeled as looting. Quote, looting is a term that we typically use when people of color or urban dwellers are doing something, unquote. Boyd, a retired cop, told KGO. Quote, we tend not to use that term for other people when they do the exact same thing. Who is we? Maybe you don't do it. Maybe you think somebody is only looting when they black or non-white, but I don't care what color you are. I can't see what color you are under them Antifa mask anyway. You got on this ridiculous cartoon body armor and face mask. I don't know what's going on. You could be a whole Martian up under that stuff. All I see is window being smashed, Molotov cocktails flying in the sky, and then things being lifted off the shelves. I don't care what color you are. You could be a little baby in there stealing. Who cares? At the end of the day, you are a looter, regardless of what some random weirdo wants to say that it's racist. The dumbest thing in the world, but I digress. Let's get to a few more calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. And let's go ahead and get to some here. And the calls are coming in pretty quick, so y'all please bear with me. 757, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, Mr. Logan, Chesapeake Bob here. How you doing?
I'm well. How about yourself?
I'm good. I wanted to wish you a happy Thanksgiving for the chat. I'm known as Bob KMIT. I just wanted to say that I love the call from the mom with the kids. I think she's a great mom. I know she calls in a couple times. But
Absolutely.
I think, how long is it before you get one of those kids in trouble? And let me explain before you go down a dark path. How long before one of those kids writes an essay in school that says, who do I admire? And they put on there, I admire ABL, and this is why.
Well, hey, that could happen, but see, then if they get in trouble, like what's the explanation going to be? Like, what are they going to say that I said that is wrong or somehow racist or whatever? So it's going to be a battle. It's like, what's going to happen? You're going to have a white liberal teacher get upset, and then they're going to try to attack me. See, I don't know how they're really going to do that. And if that's happening, then it wouldn't even really be about me. It'd be about just bad teachers and a bad situation. So in that case, hopefully they're able to get out of that situation, or the teacher is able to get out of the situation, because they shouldn't be there. And I think that if anybody was able to review it and be honest, then they would be able to come to the same conclusion. But it's a good question to ask.
Well, actually, I kind of meant it in jest, because I hope it happens, because I think the left a long time ago said we need to get our kids on our side, particularly at the college level. And I saw this a lot when I was teaching up MIT. And I think the right is slowly starting to pick up on the fact we need to teach our kids at a younger age. And that's a good thing, if you agree.
Absolutely, 100%, because you don't want to wait until they get to be a teenager and they're already, they're geniuses at age 13 and they don't want to listen to your parents anymore. You got to get them at an early age so they have that foundation upon which to build their character.
And I think you and several other people like you are trying to encourage that, and I just give you a big thumbs up on that one. But I do have some local news update if you'd like it.
Okay.
Well, after you moved away into the hills there in Tennessee, the Norfolk Police lieutenant who was fired from his job last year, you remember that?
Yeah, I've been following that story. What's his name? William Kelly?
I believe that's what it was. He's now filed with his lawyer to get his job back because he did nothing wrong and Kyle was acquitted.
Good for him. Good for him, because he shouldn't have been fired to begin with. All he did was donate $25 US dollars to Kyle Rittenhouse's defense fund, and they fired him for that. He should not have been fired at all. And I know some guys in Norfolk, obviously, because my dad was a firefighter. He was a captain. So I know some of the guys that go on TV, Julian Williamson, some of these people. I want to see if I can talk to him and see if I can help or see what's going on, because he most certainly shouldn't have been fired. He needs to get his job back for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he did 19 and a half years. He was 6 months away from retirement, pension, benefits, and all that. And the police chief was out walking with a BLM crowd, in support, in uniform. And he got fired. The lieutenant did. So I'm hoping he gets his job back. I just want to let you know about that. The second thing is, and I'm going to use this in politically correct terms because I know you have children watching. Do you remember the ODU teacher who was teaching MAP?
Yeah, I've seen that story too. What's it, the non-binary or whatever they want to call themselves? That person,
binary appearance person, binary attractive person.
Right.
Well, apparently there's been such ruckus that even the local news finally had to cover it, because the last time I talked to you, they hadn't even covered it. But apparently there's been such a ruckus that he's had a conversation with the dean of ODU, and he'll be leaving.
Oh, well, there you go. Very good. Now, I'm glad that he's gone, and hopefully he doesn't resurface anywhere else to do this same nonsense, because the guy, he was really talking about some things that should be considered criminal.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%, but I'm glad to see it's going the way it should have gone from the beginning. And it's the first time I've seen it on local media during the 6 o'clock news hour.
Right. Absolutely.
So I wanted to give you those 2 updates. The last thing I will be saying is I am going to be deep fat frying a turkey. So if my house blows up, that's on me.
All right, I got you.
I consider myself a professional at it. I learned it down in New Orleans when I was stationed down there. And I want to put out to you, your stream or your chat, that the key to doing this correctly is to use peanut oil and to do it outside.
Yes, absolutely. Good advice.
All right, sir. Well, I'll let you go, and hopefully I'll catch you on Saturday. And I'm not sure exactly when you're going out to Arizona. I know you're going out to Arizona. I thought about going out there myself, but whenever your next live stream is, I'll be listening.
All righty. Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thanks, sir. Good night.
All right. Good call. Yeah. So I'm going to try to, if anybody can get me in contact with William Kelly, I'd love to. I might make some calls myself, people I know in Norfolk, and see if we can get something going. For sure. I know he knows my dad. I know that because if he's 19 and a half years and he was in like downtown Norfolk, I know they know each other. So I'm going to see if I can do something. All right. And let's go to the calls are coming in. I got a little bit of time left, so y'all hang tight. Let's try 843. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. How you doing? My name is Joey.
All righty, man. What's going on?
I gotta tell you, in my perspective, I can't help but feel that racism is basically on life support. The only people that are really keeping it alive is these liberal, like elites, and and a lot of people on the left are really keeping it alive. A lot of conservatives, in my opinion, I speak to really, like, they judge by like the person's character, not the color of their skin. I've always grew up that way, like seeing somebody like who they are as a person, not let alone like their physical appearance. And honestly, because the whole and yeah, it's basically like the media. Honestly, to debunk like the whole "if Kyle was black" thing, honestly, I cannot help but feel you wouldn't hear about it, because the only reason why it is even on the thing is honestly because he was white. Nothing really more.
Yeah, that's all it was. That was really the long and short. And like you said about conservatives, we do judge based on your character. It's like, what kind of a person are you? That's really the long and short. Because when we're talking about the Kyle Rittenhouse case, everybody involved is white. Everyone. The people that got shot and the person that defended themselves. So if it's about race, then why do we see one person as the good guy and the others as the bad guy? It's because it's not even about race. It's about what you do and how you behave and how you treat others.
And I'll tell you one thing, bro. I honestly used to fall from like the mainstream media narrative, but then
You're breaking up real bad. Hold on, caller, you're breaking up real bad. I can't. Go ahead.
Okay. No, the one thing I was worrying about is like I used to fall for the mainstream media's rhetoric, and so I noticed a pattern. I only see it when it's a white on black issue. I don't see it when it's like white on white, black on black, or even black on white or anything else. It's only when it's white on black. I'm like, what's the reason behind this? Why is this only happening when it's this way? You know what I mean?
Right.
I was younger too. I was younger too when I was having. I'm sorry if I interrupted you.
Now go ahead, keep going.
So, yeah, no, I was a teenager when that was thing, and that was when the whole Ferguson, Missouri riots happened. That was when Obama was president, and your buddy Joe Biden, or Sleepy Joe, was vice president.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. Speaking of Pelosi, I mean, who knows? I mean, I find it funny how she wants to go to a state where Trump is staying at. I don't know. In my opinion, I find that kind of funny. What did you think?
But like these people don't really care about that stuff. They don't really care about things they say when they're out there in front of the cameras. All they really care about is getting money, tax benefits, tax breaks. Like they'll say one thing and then do something totally different. So nothing surprises me that these people do.
I know, and obviously she I think it makes it clear to me that she knows California is bad. She just doesn't want to owe up to it. That's all it is.
100% correct.
I mean, I cannot but feel. I'll say this one thing before I go. I guess we really need term limits, man. Like you really shouldn't be in Congress for 40 plus years. I mean, honestly, if you're not going to make a change, why you need to be in there for such a long time, man? Like it should be like an amendment that needs to be passed, and if that's even possible at this point. I mean, I don't see that being possible, but that's really only wishful thinking. in my opinion.
I'm right there with you, man, for sure.
Yeah, man. That's all I wanted to say. You have a happy Thanksgiving. Y'all stay safe out there. If all I'm going to say is don't go out shopping Black Friday if you don't want to happen to you what happened in San Francisco, getting looted and all that other crap.
Yeah, for sure. Or, be careful. Keep something on you just to be prepared for the zombies to come out.
Oh yeah, you know that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you heard another Kyle Rittenhouse situation on the Black Friday, because you know how Black Friday is like the worst shopping day of the year.
Yeah, it is.
All right, man. Happy Thanksgiving, and y'all, each and one of y'all, be safe.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, brother.
All right, yeah, man. Like, be safe on Black Friday. Like, I've gone out on Black Friday and it's cool, but I definitely, I can't confirm or deny if I got something in my truck or in my left boot. I can't confirm or deny that. I don't know nothing about, because like I said, I've lost all my weapons in a tragic boating accident. They're all gone. It was very sad. The boat went up in flames. It was all a big crazy mess. But I'm saying I'm prepared for whatever. All right, let's go to some more here. I got time for one more, maybe. 414, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
My name is Tina.
All righty. What's going on?
Okay, so I just wanted to offer this perspective. I am from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and 19 years ago, I was actually in one of the biggest protests in Washington, D.C., and I wanted to offer the perspective that when I was in this protest, there were known rioters, meaning people who specifically come to protest across the country to damage property. So in the case of Kyle Rittenhouse, I was actually grateful that I had that experience of being in that protest, because I was able to realize that when I was witnessing this all on TV, that's what he encountered.
Oh, okay. So you saw like some of the same identifying patterns of professionals?
I mean, literally the way they dress, the way they, just everything. It was like I was meant to have that experience, because not only what was going on here, in Wisconsin, but what was going on in like Portland, Oregon, all this stuff. I mean, everything I was reading, I was like, I had this experience. There was a reason I had this experience. People need to know, this happened to me 19 years ago. These people still do it. They're still doing it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we've seen that. And then I've seen people on TV even admit it, talking about, I see some of my so-called comrades from different parts of the country. Like they say it on TV. If people are paying attention, but the media won't really pick up on it. They won't really highlight that. But you know what it is. You've already been there. You've seen it. You experienced it. And you're seeing the same thing over and over again. Every single time when these kind of things happen, there are always the opportunists. There's always people that are paid to sow discord. And it's not changed in a very long time. Always been the same way.
And not only that, it's like a little signal to their buddies. Like, hey, woo woo, I was in this state at this time. Look what I did, And the other thing is, I was 19 at the time. Like, I was young. This isn't something that I do. I don't go out and protest. But the reason why I am so thankful for this experience is because not only that, I got to go to a legal class that actually taught you how to get out of jail if you were to be arrested in these certain types of situations. So these people know how to get out of jail if they do end up arrested going to these protests, and they do it over and over and over and over again. This is their job.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I just wanted to call in. I wanted people to know, what you're witnessing and what you think you see. You're absolutely correct. It's exactly what you see.
Right on. Makes a lot of sense to me. And thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thanks. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Same to you now. Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.
All right, great call. But that'll be a wrap for me. It's already 11 o'clock. I know time flying very fast. And thank you guys for being here. You guys have been a great audience for sure. If you enjoy what you have heard tonight, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up if you have not done so already. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please do so right now. It's totally free. And again, this will be available on your favorite audio streaming platform for replay, whether it be Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. Link for that will be in the description box below, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. Shout out to the mods for doing a great job keeping them trolls in check, because the trolls be trolling. So thank you for that. And thank you to everybody who has been watching, sharing, liking, commenting, super chatting, PayPaling, Patreoning, whatever you're doing. I got a few super chats to read right here. Then I wrap it on up, put the bowl cleaner on top. And again, happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your day. Don't eat too much. Enjoy the football game. Have a good time. And if you want to be toxic, go to the dinner table and say, hey, man, who'd you vote for? Say, hey, how's Joe Biden working out? Don't do that, for real. Don't do that. I don't want anybody coming back talking about, hey, man, I took your advice and it was a big fight at a dinner table. So don't do that. But have a good time. Super chats on that, and then we're out. Let me see. Thank you to Fauna Faye, who says, you saw where they made the mural of George Floyd as Jesus at a Catholic university? Pure blasphemy. As a criminal as a deity. Shaking my head. You know what? I did see that. I'm going to try to pull it up right quick. So y'all hang tight. I did see that. Here we go. This is it right here. So this is on Leo Terrell. It's like the Fox News family of websites. So you see it right here. Hold on. It says Catholic University hangs painting depicting George Floyd as Jesus Christ. And you see it right there. Is that Mary? Is that the Madonna? Like, y'all pardon me. I'm kind of rusty on my, I guess you would call it iconography. But yeah, I guess it's supposed to be George Floyd right there. That's no bueno. No bueno. Right? But this is what they do. Okay, this is part of the reason. You know, we had a caller earlier talking about a lack of God and a lack of religion. Stuff like this, it's like the people. Okay, I got to get my words properly. I got to say this right, because I don't want to misspeak. But I think what's happening is a lot of people who would be proper leaders are not in the church. So the church is being overrun with improper leaders. And you have stuff like this that gets put out there. So anyone that might be attracted to the church in a serious way, trying to find God and trying to find religion, trying to find some sinner in their life, is going to be repelled when they see stuff like this. But those who are living really dangerous and ridiculous lifestyles will be drawn into stuff like this. Therefore, you're going to have more bad leaders, which continues to drive the church through the floor. It's crazy. And this is hold on, where is this at? Okay. But yeah, not good. Not good at all. But let me get to a few more here. Let's get to a few more supers and then we'll wrap it on up. Hold on. Let's see. Thank you to Englishman in the USA for the donation. Thank you to Christy725, who says, happy Thanksgiving, ABL, and right back at you. I always look forward to your shows. Thanks for all your awesome insights. Fire emoji. Appreciate you. Thank you to Get Business Credit, who says, hey, ABL, been a long time supporter and member. Wanted to ask you if you offer paid sponsorships for your show. I do sometimes, but it depends. It depends. My channel's kind of tricky, but if you have any kind of proposal, please email me at contact@anthonyblogan.com. I know a lot of you guys email me. I don't always respond, but I do read everything. That's what I do. I read for fun. Like these are glasses because I'm reading all the time. You see what I'm saying? So that's what that is. Thank you to SR, who says, these people who raid the malls in the name of reparations would gladly parade around with chains of Louis Vuitton bound about their necks. Wow. Yeah, that's right. Thank you to Mike Sapolo, who says, you're the man. Thank you for that. Thank you to Joe Ryder 84 who says, ABL, have you met the Hodge twins yet? Yes, I have. I met Hodge twins in DC back, what was that, 2019? Yeah, and they're from Virginia too. You know, real good Virginia guys. I got a picture of myself and them somewhere. If I can find it right quick, I'll place it on the screen. But yeah, real good guys from Virginia. They're from Martinsville, which is like further out west. That's like south of Roanoke, right on the border of Carolina. And, you know, my dad and them, they grew up in Roanoke and then also in West Virginia because it's like right there close to West Virginia. So shout out to Hodge twins. And Carol Swain is from Beaufort originally, which is right by Roanoke. So we got a lot of Virginia people in the movement. I count everybody that's from Virginia in the movement. Also, Craig Long from like northern, like close to Fredericksburg, Virginia. So yeah, shout out to them. And we got one more super here, or we got a couple more, I think. Shout out to Jordan 84 who says, ABL, would you say Al Sharpton is a fake pastor as Biden is a fake Catholic? That's a good question. I would say so. I definitely would say so. But you know what? It's a lot of Al Sharptons out there. Al Sharpton is not even uncommon the way he behaves as far as like black pastors. Even sometimes pastors in general. I don't want to get into that because that's a whole different thing. You know, there's an Instagram page that we were looking at on Tatum Stream last time called Preacher Sneakers. You got these preachers of all colors wearing Gucci suits and just ridiculous nonsense, just stupid stuff. You know, I'm just like, man, what in the world is happening here? You know. But anyway, I digress for real. Let's see. Shout out to Les who says, in response to the caller, I'm one of those parents that the school land board knows. So I and dad will never allow discrimination over our views and beliefs. That's a U.S. flag at the end. Now, Les is the person that called in with the youngest in the background. So, you know, her and, you know, the husband, the father, they're active in the kids' lives, active in the school, and they make sure that everything's done properly. Thank you to Bryden Phillips who says, great show as always. ABL's the boss. Thank you for that. Thank you to Jedi 2 Billion who says, you think martial law will be declared soon in the U.S.? I don't think so. That happens in certain parts of the country, but not everywhere. So here's myself and Hodge twins. This is back 2019, October 2019. So yeah, this is outside in DC. We're at the hotel, and you see the truck back there. That's Joe Patrick's big orange truck. That thing was humongous. The man had a whole tank in front of the hotel. So how you gonna valet that? Where you gonna park that on top of the building? Like, it was crazy. So yeah, shout out to Hodge twins. Yeah, 100%. All right. And let's go to the last one here. Thank you to Abby who says, took that dinner table advice about how Joe Biden is working out this evening, cooking with Looney Loved One. Candy yams from the window to the wall. Yeah, the candy yams everywhere. You're going to have the turkey legs flying all over the room. You're going to be having cranberry sauce in the carpet for 2 years after that. So y'all just hang tight there. Yeah, I am tall. I'm 6'3". I'm a pretty tall guy. Y'all don't really know that. You see me from like right here up, you know. So people don't know. They see me like, oh, I know you're going to be so big. I get there all the time. But yeah, shout out to the Hodge twins. Shout out to Joe Patch. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody in the whole movement. I will see a lot of you guys on Tuesday in Arizona. Can't wait. It's going to be a good trip. But that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.